Welcome, my little couch potatoes, to the comfiest courtroom on the internet. I'm your host, Llama, and it's time for dramatic testimony, overruled objections, and absolutely unqualified opinions. So grab your snuggiest blanket, some delicious snacks, and get ready to watch court with your internet besties. This is Couch Court with Llama.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, I guess. I guess. I sometimes I forget how old I am and that being trying to be a younger version of Llama, it's tough. It's tough when you're 40 and you decide to drink a whole bottle of wine and stay up till 5 in the morning. So I'll be honest, I'm dragging some ass today. But we're here to hopefully finish up this longest complaint I've ever read in my life. I'm so over reading it. It's so repetitive, but whatever. We got to hear it all out. I was hoping to finish just the complaint last night, but oh my God. So we're definitely going to go through that today regarding Bam v. Ben and Brian and everybody. And then hopefully we'll be going through the exhibits going with that complaint. I don't know how many pages it is together. It's crazy. It's like 150 pages total for just the complaint. So I know I'm trying to catch this up as quickly as I can for Ben's TRO hearing on Tuesday. So I want to wrap up this complaint. We may only be able to read the TRO this week, and that just might be have to be where we catch up at this point because this took. I was not expecting it to take so many days to get through this, but here we are. Plus, Buffy and I always have a lot to say. Oh, why did I turn blurry? Did anybody else see that, or is it just me still being hungover? Maybe I don't know. Amos, you were warned, but you didn't listen. No, I didn't. And fine, you and Buff were right. But whatever, I had a good time. I went over, I crashed Echoes from the Tabernacle stream. We talked about some BAM Mormon things over there. I had a good time. Uh, Party Llama had a good time. Today, Llama, ooh, I don't know about that. Hello, Stringer Bell. Hello, welcome. Hello, Coleman. Welcome to you as well. So, we're gonna hop right into it because, like I said, we got a lot to try to cover today, and I'm gonna do my best to try to get through as much as possible because there's so many other things I want to read than this ugh, complaint of whatever it is. Um, oh, that's just is that the right one? There we go. There we go. I forget what it's like when Buffy's not here. Anyway, so let's get right into things today. I don't think there was any breaking news of anything regarding, this whole situation. At least there wasn't when I checked at 11:30 this morning. Did anything exciting happen today, chat? If so, let me know so I'm in the loop. Otherwise, I'm way behind. All right, so let's get back to the complaint here. We are on page 70 of 95, you guys. Ugh. And we're going to talk about the third cause of action of from BAM. This is BAM's filing of everything, and it's so ridiculous, you guys. It's so ridiculous. The more I thought about it last night and we were reading, I was just like, but that doesn't make any sense. Everything you're saying doesn't make any sense. But that's the thing, is you can put whatever the fuck you want in court papers. It doesn't have to make sense right away in civil court. That's what I've learned. I'm not a fan, in case you didn't know, of civil court. Anyway, so let's get into it. So plaintiffs, BAM, incorporate the foregoing allegations as though fully set forth herein. Basically, everybody's harassing them and they don't like it. And it's been really bad for business and it's everybody's fault but their own, which it seems a lot like it's their fault, their own fault, but whatever. So, in addition to the defamation per se claims above, plaintiffs assert a comprehensive claim for defamation based on the totality of co defendants, Ben and friends, false and defamatory statements, which have been published widely, repeatedly, and with escalating malice over an extended period of time. Just escalating malice, those bad YouTube kids, how dare they bring attention? They don't want anybody talking about this. They don't want any of that. And it's very frustrating. Co-defendants conspired together to intentionally and maliciously publish false statements of fact to third parties concerning plaintiffs relating to a wholly private legal dispute between Crystal, Bryan, and Salem LLC. That's Crystal and Benjamin's um, company when they were the previous owners of the Bricks and Minifigs in Oregon, in which plaintiffs were not legally involved. These false statements include the depictions and statements referenced in the second clause of action. So they also, if you didn't catch us last night, because we went on late last night, and I don't know if that was a good decision. I'll be honest. Llama at night is very different than llama during the day. And they really like to underscore the private a lot. Um, but if it's a private legal dispute, it's just no. Okay, so what if it was small and private and nobody knew about it? No, everybody knows about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but they want you to know it's very private. Very private. Oh, hi, Baba. Nice to see you again. I hope you got some sleep because I did not. But happy to see you. The Santa Claus of action. Yes. Why not? Let's throw Santa in the mix. Bam would probably sue Santa too. I'm just saying. Allegedly. That's my opinion. The statements were published to third parties, including YouTube's millions of viewers. It's probably higher than millions, but yes. Social media users, customers, employees, franchisees, and the general public, as referenced in the second clause of action. Santa Claus. The foregoing statements are false, as referenced in the second clause of action. Supera. Co-defendants published these false statements with actual malice, that is, with knowledge of their falsity or with reckless disregard for the truth or falsity as referenced in the second clause of action. Why are we still talking about that? We know. Alternatively, Ben published these false statements negligently without exercising reasonable care to determine whether the statements were true or false before publishing them to millions of viewers. Reasonable care. Didn't he spend how long? Um, what? When did they start talking to Brian? 2025, I believe, towards the beginning. Maybe first quarter 2025 is when Brian contacts them. All right. They did not go searching for this and just stumbled upon it. From what I understand, is that Brian contacted Reckless Ben and said, "Hey, well, you look into it." And then they spent like a whole freaking year and a half on this story. So I do think that they spent a lot of time determining things, and they just didn't like what Ben's outcome was for this. By reason of the foregoing misconduct, plaintiffs have been severely damaged by co-defendants, including respecting plaintiffs' reputations, business operations, and goodwill, because they're nice guys. Plaintiffs are therefore entitled to an award of actual, general, consequential, incidental, and punitive damages, including but not limited to lost profits and revenue, loss of customer, vendor, employee, and public relationships, damage or loss regarding franchise relationships and goodwill. I don't know. I think that might be a you problem. Business interruption and operational disruption, increased security costs necessitated by threats resulting from co defendants' conduct, cost of responding to death threats and bomb threats. What's your cost? Except for calling the police. That's all you do anyway. That's no different than what you were doing before you got those things. Reputational harm requiring significant public relations expenditures, which you don't seem to be spending wisely. Management distraction, emotional distress suffered by employees, franchisees and their families, and legal costs and attorney's fees and other damages. These damages are in an amount not less than $250,000, together with pre and post judgment interest thereon, plus all statutory and punitive damages in an amount sufficient to punish co defendants and deter similar conduct, attorneys, fees, and costs. This number is going to be much bigger than $250,000. I can tell you that right now. Hi, Dan Montana. Happy to see you. We love our lurkers. Happy that you're here. Amos said, well, they probably have to up their police fund for extra services, right? The donations to the police fund, probably. Probably. Just saying, in my opinion. It's just a thought. Just a thought. But apparently thoughts are crimes, in case you didn't know that. Fourth cause of action: injurious falsehood, trade disparagement, and false light against co-defendants. So the plaintiffs incorporate the foregoing allegations as though fully set forth herein. By reason of the foregoing misconduct, co-defendants have also committed injurious falsehoods, trade disparagement, and placed plaintiffs in a false light contrary to Utah law. Co-defendants conspired together to intentionally and maliciously publish injurious falsehoods, trade disparagements, and to present BAM and its franchisees' business in their franchise operations and the integrity of their business practices in a false light. Okay. Though I hear this is not the only franchise that has suffered at the hands of BAM that they've done dirty. So I don't know. You're not late, Echoes. I just started. How are you feeling today? I started with, I'm too old for this shit. That's what I got. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, when we get together, we party hard, don't we? I do, anyway. You just sit there and listen to me ramble. Anyway, you can blame me. That's fine. It was my fault, but it was a good time. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you and Jeep Daddy and Rob. It was a fun time. You guys are the best. Bubba says, I did find out last night that my audit has made its way into Ben's attorney's hands. Ooh, wait, are you talking about, did he get a civil attorney, Bubba? Or rumor of one? Which attorneys are you talking about? That gives him a better shot at making heads and tails of what happened. Well, that's amazing. A lot of you don't follow the Laura Owens thing, right? But the community did so much investigative work. Like, the only reason that these guys got justice is because of the amount of work the community did, because it's a lot. When you're up against liars in court and you have to disprove everything, no matter how logical it is, it really took the community to do a lot of the legwork, because lawyers are one, expensive, and there's only what, usually like one or two of them. And the community really helped in doing all of that without getting too involved, right? You just do the work and you send it to the right people. But that's amazing. You just heard attorneys have your work. Well, that's amazing. It is going to take everybody to be a part of this to help sort things out. So, from the sounds of it, it's his criminal attorneys. Well, and they probably, honestly, they might even be talking to civil attorneys to represent him. Just because that may not be their specialty doesn't mean they're not talking to other people. I don't know. Was it you? I don't know who it was. Said last night that perhaps maybe because they haven't filed, attorney has not filed in civil to represent Ben, but they might at the last minute. Just because we don't have somebody listed doesn't mean there isn't somebody. And I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that's the case, but I'm sure his criminal lawyers have also been like telling him, the same things we all are, and hopefully giving him references to people that he needs for this. So fingers crossed we hear something by Friday. And hopefully whoever it is scares the shit out of these people. That would be great. All right, so where was I? So co-defendants' misconduct was intended to destroy plaintiff's business, undermine their reputations, and drive away customers, franchisees, vendors, and business partners. Co-defendants conspired together to intentionally and maliciously present plaintiffs in a false light before the public by portraying them as criminals, thieves, and exploiters of the elderly. I mean, yeah. But honestly, you know what? I don't think you're just exploiters of the elderly. Are you saying you're non-discriminatory of who you exploit? I don't know. Just kidding. That's a joke. Hi, April. Happy to see you here with your cute little Lego you. I love it so much. Hi, Chief Daddy. Hi. Hope you're enjoying your day off. I don't know if you're feeling as rough as I am today, but happy to see you here, sir. Us party animals. This false portrayal was highly offensive to a reasonable person and was made with actual knowledge of or reckless disregard for the falsity of the publicized matter. Ben and the Schneider Group acted with reckless disregard for the truth. They love that so much, yet deliberately portraying plaintiffs as criminal. Oh, I skipped a part. Sorry. Disregard for the truth, knowing that no court or law enforcement agency had made any findings of criminal conduct, yet deliberately portraying plaintiffs as criminals to millions of viewers. The false light in which plaintiffs were placed has caused severe harm to their reputation and standing in the community. And what I think is interesting about that is in the last 72 pages we've read, they accuse them of a lot of, as Ben likes to say, criminal crimes that, oh, we called the police for this and the police for this, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't get in trouble for any of it. Right? They're sitting here saying, "Oh, this is a RICO case. There's a criminal enterprise." Okay, well then where are the charges then? Quite frankly, they're doing no different than what they're accusing Ben of. They just put it in a lawsuit, which is even less reliable, if you ask me. They're just saying words. The Schneider Group sounds like a hedge fund. Yes. Bubba says Bam is upset because they steal from everyone. Lol. Mhm. Allegedly, my opinion. I really do feel I cannot wait to look more into their businesses. I really, really can because I just have some gut feelings that there's some shady things going on there. Last night was epic. It was so fun. I love hanging out with you guys. But it's interesting, right? Like they're like, oh, they're doing all this illegal stuff. Okay, but they didn't get arrested. They got arrested what, twice? Of all the times you called them. So I'm just saying. Schneider's We Steal from Old People campaign videos reaching millions of viewers, podcasts, website, merchandise, defamatory signage, social media posts, and in person statements, and republicized have publicized matter that places plaintiffs in a false light by implying criminal conduct that plaintiffs did not commit. I mean, how are they gonna prove that then? Are they handing over all of their business records? They're not gonna do that. Come on. Creating a false impression that plaintiffs operate a criminal enterprise, falsely suggesting that plaintiffs engage in elder exploitation, falsely implying the law enforcement has found plaintiffs guilty of crimes. Well, they did not find them guilty of any crimes. Yes. Falsely suggesting that courts have ruled against plaintiffs and creating the false impression that plaintiffs have fled or closed stores to avoid accountability. The false light is particularly offensive because it imputes the morally reprehensible conduct of stealing from and exploiting elderly persons specifically. They're very upset about the old people comment. Very upset about it. The injurious falsehoods, trade disparagements, and false light assertions are as more particularly referenced in the second cause of action, supra. Ben falsely stated that plaintiff's business is a criminal enterprise that steals from old people. We've already said this so many times. That BAM stores engaged in theft and fraud. That plaintiff's corporate leadership participated in a criminal cover up with law enforcement and that BAM stores have permanently closed due to losing in court. Ben published these false and commercially disparaging statements through videos, reaching millions of viewers. This is literally the same paragraph, except reversed. Oh my God. Okay. Ben published these false and commercially disparaging statements through videos reaching millions of viewers, podcasts, websites, merchandise bearing defamatory slogans, signage posted at store locations and in residential neighborhoods, which was fine, flyers, banners, and social media posts designed to maximize viral spread and commercial harm to plaintiffs. Specifically, Ben created and disseminated the We Steal from Old People campaign, website, and merchandise, falsely branding plaintiffs in the BAM franchise system as elder theft criminals. They do not like it. Ben further published false statements that certain of plaintiffs lost in court, that a default judgment proves liability, and that BAM's Baker store has permanently closed to avoid paying and escaping liability. I mean, it was kind of interesting that they were trying to serve papers and then boom, the store closed. But they also said that they're fictitious papers. So, which is it? Were you scared of receiving court papers? Did you shut down your business because of fake ones? I don't understand what they're trying to say. These statements were published with the knowledge of their falsity or reckless disregard for the truth, as no court had entered any such judgment and the stores remained open. Ben and the Schneider Group also filed fraudulent court documents in Marion County, Oregon, citing erroneous entities and filed by false or unrelated parties, all of which were dismissed, furthering evidence co-defendants' pattern of manufacturing false legal claims to support their defamatory narrative. These false statements were calculated and intended to cause injury and harm to plaintiffs and their businesses, and did and continues to cause substantial and ongoing injury and harm, including loss of existing customers who were directly confronted by the Schneider Group or exposed to its defamatory campaign, loss of prospective customers who have been deterred from patronizing BAM stores, interference with franchise relationships. Am I crazy? Is this not just what we read on the last page? Damage to plaintiff's ability to recruit new franchisees, increased costs of security at store locations, business interruptions caused by repeated trespass, harassment, and confrontations at store locations, cost of removing defamatory signage and materials. Get out. What did that cost? Like $10? I mean, it was literally stick-ons and a sign on a building. If you paid an outrageous amount of money, that is on you. Management distraction and legal cost and attorney fees and other damages. The statements are false and were made with actual knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth, as referenced in the second clause of action. Ben knew that no court or law enforcement agency had adjudicated that plaintiffs committed theft, fraud, or any criminal conduct. Yet he repeatedly characterized plaintiffs as criminals and thieves. How dare they? Oh, hi. Hi, Belle. Hello. One lady for right now. Maybe the other will join us. Hope you're doing well. Are you in a pub right now in Scotland? Drinking? Either way, I hope you're having a good evening. It's nighttime there. Oh, I hope you're having a good evening and you had a good day. Right, Dan Montana? Welcome to the consequences of your actions. And how dare people find out about it? We don't like that. We have heard all of this several times. Amos. I want to file a motion to dismiss this document based on reckless disregard for everybody's time. Yes. Yes. Bubba says also Ben left in December and came back when he heard they could move forward with default. But prior to going to default judgment, the judge threw out the claim due to not serving the listed agent. Right. So he was there quite a few different periods of time in 2025, correct? And then went back to LA in December, and then came back in what around like March or something. Because he's in California, he's not there all the time. So Echo says other attorneys have suggested these filings sound like cut and paste from old cases dumped into a casserole dish. Very Mormon. I'd agree. I'd agree. My theory is they're going to overwhelm with paperwork, and this is the prime example of that. This could have been 50 pages less than it needed to be. No, you're in the house with all the windows open. Really? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Dan Montana has motion granted to Amos's motion. Hold on, where's my gavel to make it official? Granted. I don't know where my bass is, but I don't like it anyway. It's loud and I don't like the sound of it. So around March, okay. And then the store was closed. Isn't that cute? This could have been an email. It could be a lot of things. They do protest too much, though. Let me tell you what. I feel like a lot of this is foreshadowing. Let's see. We did that one. All right. So, by reasoning of the foregoing misconduct, plaintiffs have been severely damaged by co defendants, including respecting plaintiffs' reputations, business operations, and goodwill. That was literally a sentence 2 pages ago in the same section. Plaintiffs are therefore entitled to an award of actual, general, consequential, incidental, and punitive damages. All right, this is literally all what we just read. Again, same thing, $250,000. All right, let's go to the fifth cause of action. This is how we're going to get through this. Let's see. Co-defendants, including Brian, the original consignment claimant from the Salem LLC dispute, Crystal and her partner, Benjamin, and potentially their attorneys and other co-conspirators. It is wild they're accusing attorneys of this kind of stuff too. And potentially their attorneys and other co-conspirators conspired to create the enterprise and to commit the unlawful acts described in this verified complaint. It is wild to accuse attorneys of conspiracy. It is right out of the Laura Owens fucking playbook. That is, I'll tell you what. They must be learning from Gingy Baby. I don't know. I think I'd rather read a David Gingras filing than this, to be quite honest. Oh my God. Schneider and the Schneider Group acted as agents of Brian and Crystal, and the Schneider Group acted as agents of Ben, for which they are each personally responsible, and for which Brian and Ben are responsible as principals. Each co conspirator is jointly and severely liable for the tortoise acts committed in furtherance of the conspiracy. The co conspirators combined and entered into a meeting of the minds to accomplish the intended objectives of the enterprise, as described in this verified complaint, including to extort improper payments from plaintiffs, to destroy plaintiffs' reputation and businesses, and to harass, intimidate, and threaten plaintiffs, their employees, franchisees, and families. The unlawful activities referenced in this verified complaint and in the publications evidence a pattern of careful coordination and timing, excuse me, among Crystal, Brian, Ben, the Schneider Group, and their affiliates. And you know what they did? They filmed it. They all, they're gonna bring out like the picture from the video of when they're all like sitting in the living room. Not Brian and Crystal and Benjamin, but Ben and his team. They're gonna be like, see, it was a meeting of the minds, friends hanging out in a living room with a camera on, being, people, I guess. Bill says, did anyone see the civil rights lawyer's video where it shows the Ring doorbell cam footage of the Mormon kid that was at Josh's door? No. The civil rights lawyer is on my playlist for this weekend. Uh, Elbow Feet is a big fan of him. He's been watching him forever, but I haven't ever actually listened to him. So I'm going to listen to his coverage of this weekend. That is on my playlist. So I will be doing that. for sure. That's the one that they accused of being drunk too. Talk about people who just want to throw accusations out there all the time with no proof. Let's not forget that it was called that the drug bust, right? Oh, they're driving around with heroin. Wasn't that Josh that did that? You had no reason to think that. And then they accused them of stealing all the Legos. And you want to sit here and say, oh, they made up all the lies about us. We haven't done anything wrong. What? Okay. You definitely had no proof of the first one and definitely no proof of the second. You told him months ahead of time you were going to say he stole the Legos, even though he lives in friggin' California. Upon information and belief, co-defendants have had and continue to have communications with Crystal. How fucking dare they? And Doe's 1 through 15 in the form of public and private exchanges, meetings and online emails, text and posts, wherein they discuss strategies to pressure and threaten plaintiffs, including death and physical harm threats. This pattern of coordination fits Utah's statutes on conspiracy, stalking, and theft by extortion, providing further evidence of the unlawful objectives of the conspiracy. But you guys literally did that too by calling the cops on falsities, but okay. Exactly, Dan Montana. Like three guys on Instagram, heaven forbid, if people talk to each other or bond over getting fucked over by the same person. And in early 2025 communication with BAM as part of their dispute resolution, Brian and Crystal expressly threatened that if BAM did not give them their demand for $300,000, they would not be able to control the documentarian Ben from releasing damaging and doctored videos harming the company. And again, you can't control what another person does anyway. This extortionate threat constitutes evidences the co-defendant's knowledge and support of and involvement in their campaign, a coordination and conspiracy among co-defendants with respect thereto, the use of Schneider's publications as a weapon to extort payments, and the malicious intent underlying the entire campaign. This threat also constitutes theft by extortion under Utah code. They want to see all of their stuff, right? Or see all the messages, private, public, whatever. They want them to, not destroy anything. I can't wait until they have to turn over their stuff because you know that they probably try to dirty delete stuff and they don't know. Obviously, they don't know how the internet works. I doubt they understand the concept that nothing's ever deleted, boo. Mm-mm. No, not at all. I bet they were having conversations of, well, you could call the police and tell them they have drugs in the car or that they stole the Legos. Allegedly, that's my opinion. That was an impression. Um, but I don't know. Ben's trial is on Tuesday. Will you be live for that? I hope. If it's going to be streamed live, yes. I know it's a WebEx link, and it kind of makes me nervous to try to do it live when that's happening because I do not want to do something that is going to, accidentally have my mic on. I have really bad anxiety, so I just assume the worst is going to happen. Where like I accidentally have my mic on or do anything. I don't really like doing that. It's a lot of people do that, and that's fine. But I don't like to because I'm like, what if I'm that person that ruins it for everyone? So hopefully I've heard that it is going to be able to stream live, but again, that can change at any point. So if it's not live when it's happening, but it comes out later, yes, we will be watching it and going over it for sure. Um, it's not until I want to say 3 o'clock my time. So we'll have good pre-warning, I think, if it's going to be picked up. So, like if Law and Crime streams it, Law and Crime will have that thumbnail up in the morning. So we will know that day probably. But yeah, we are definitely going to be watching that, whether in real time or not. I'm going to start more rumors that this was written by Chris. Right? What does private mean? Was Bam copied on messages? Exactly. How do you know what they're talking about? You know what? That's like when they say things in here, it reminds me of like, if you're with somebody who's a cheater, right? And they're cheating and they accuse you of cheating and everybody else of cheating because they're a cheater. Um, that makes me be like, okay, well, what's in your private conversations then? You know? So. You can help out with ensuring you're double or triple muted. Oh, that's true. That's true. Sometimes they say no streaming live. I don't know. I just want to be cautious because I already know that the internet has interfered a little bit in other cases where y- I believe in transparency of everything, but I don't want to be the problem. You know? But we'll see when it gets closer for sure. Um, and then Wednesday, he has his hearing in the morning with Utah for his criminal case. I think that one is going to be streamed as well. But again, I don't know if it's going to be streamed in real time or if there will be a delay of the footage getting out because that happens too all the time. Like in Laura Owens, right? Monday. I don't know if we're going to be able to watch her hearing live on Monday or if we have to wait for the footage to be released. I don't know. Different courts do different things in every single different county. It's annoying. All right, where was I? So they're like, no, you guys are saying mean things in messages. The co conspirators performed numerous wrongful overt acts in furtherance of those wrongful objectives, including coordinated harassment at multiple store locations across multiple states, harassment at the private residence of plaintiffs' employees and family members. And again, I don't know if I can believe this family member stuff. If they don't have video proof of anything, Bam or Josh, Brandon, Eamon, and Matt, I don't know if I can believe them based on the falsities they called into the police to try to have these people arrested. So I don't know. Right? Yeah, that's another thing too. You could overwhelm the court by having too many people come in and things like that. So I don't know. This is the kind of the first one, so I just want to also wait and see what the restrictions, if any, are and how it works. But that's just because I'm cautious and a crazy person. So Bam hasn't learned the power of trauma bonding, right? Right? How dare you all have bad experiences and get together and talk about it? How dare you? Hi, Lady in Gray. Nice to see you. And Winks, hello. Hope you're doing well today. Oh, I didn't mean to click off so quickly, but hi. Thank you guys for being here. All right. So they have conspired, the co conspirators performed numerous wrongful acts. I already started that part. I apologize. Three publications, including, everybody say it together, defamatory videos, podcast, and social media content, creation and distribution of merchandise bearing defamatory slogans, creation of a website to promote the defamatory campaign, vandalism, including posting defamatory signage at the store locations and residents, impersonation schemes using fake UPS uniforms, fake religious congregation members, which I don't think is a crime, even if though they're real, but also, and fake Guinness World Records personnel, how dare they, and fake investigators. Obtaining signatures under false pretenses for use in fabricating legal claims, filing fraudulent court documents, unsupported civil demands, distribution of counterfeit gift certificates. I want to see these gift certificates they keep talking about. Presentation of legal demands relating to the private legal dispute without supporting evidence and intimidation tactics, including death and bomb threats. But remember, intimidation tactics of like calling the police and saying that there's heroin in the car or that they stole all the Legos. That doesn't apply to them. Don't worry about them doing that. It's fine. They had to do it, you guys. They had to. Oh my God. By reason Okay, this is literally the same paragraph. Give us lots of money. All right. We lost a bunch of money. Um, so the sixth cause of action is tortoise interference with existing and prospective economic relations against co-defendants. Plaintiffs maintained valuable existing and prospective business relationships with hundreds of franchises across the United States. Perspective? Are you really think so? First, you said nobody's ever gonna do that now. They're never gonna open a franchise with us. And now you're like, "But we have hundreds of people that might do that." Thousands of customers who patronize BAM stores, employees at corporate headquarters and franchise locations, vendors and suppliers, landlords and property owners, banks and financial institutions, and the general public from whom plaintiff derive existing and potential economic advantage. Will anyone please think of this corporation and their money? Oh my gosh, why does no one ever think about the little guys, huh? These relationships are essential to plaintiffs' business operations and represent substantial economic value, but seem to be doing some damage to their own. So I don't know about that. Sure. Hi, Bon Jovi Crazy. Happy to see you here today. Hope you're doing well. And there's Buffy. She's listening while driving. She had mom duties, mom chauffeur. Mm. Ooh, kids, right? Driving them around. Poor corporate daddy. Right? That's what it like feels like. Like, oh my gosh. And honestly, you guys have done yourself no favors in handling this. I do think you are responsible for a lot of the damages yourself, quite frankly. But all right. Right. If you hurt our corporation, you're really hurting children and families. And listen, I mean, I do feel for people whose jobs are affect not the corporate, not these guys. Fuck these guys. I don't like these guys. They're the ones who are hurting other people. Their behavior and what they've done is the reason why it's hurting normal everyday families. These workers at your businesses and all of that is because you were fucking around and finding out, and they're the ones getting hurt. The ones, just like when we watched the video, and what was her name? Amanda, right? The manager. She's just trying to do her job. She doesn't give a fuck, right? She's not corporate. She's just trying to do her job, pay her bills. And Ben was pretty nice about it. Like, yeah, she's not necessarily the bad guy. Do people like her attitude? No. But that's her job. All right. She just wants to pay her bills like the rest of us. All right. But they, I feel, are doing more harm to their own employees and the children and the families. Um, and that's usually how it goes anyway. Co-defendants conspired together to intentionally and maliciously engage in the foregoing misconduct with the express intent and purpose of interfering directly or indirectly with plaintiffs' existing and prospective economic relations and with reckless disregard for the devastating economic consequences of their interference. How about that? They acted with reckless disregard for plaintiffs' property rights, business interests, and economic hardships, including by setting up a booth outside a BAM store location and by Ben's admission, stopping customers from entering the store. First of all, that store didn't look that fucking busy. Okay. It was what, like all three people? I mean, I know it was edited and cut down, but I doubt that store was, you're no Target. All right. You were in the back corner of a shop, mini mall. Okay. I wonder what their sales were, their daily sales. Encouraging third parties to harass and boycott plaintiff stores, distributing fraudulent raffle tickets, and issuing gift certificates that disrupted management and customer relations and required plaintiffs to address angry customers. No, how dare you make us talk to the peasants? Defacing property and posting defamatory signage that deterred customers from entering stores. soliciting BAM employees to act as undercover agents to sabotage the business from within, harassing and intimidating employees to the point where they fear for their safety, and trespassing in furtherance of the intended interference. Or do they feel threatened because of what you guys have passed on to them? Oh, you guys, we've gotten so many death threats. It could happen to you. Working their own employees. Uh, can't wait to read their leaked email to all the franchisees and employees. I can't wait because they instruct them what to do. So, by the way, we are hardly hearing anything about Kai McAllister. He's the one that threatened Crystal over the phone during the takeover, right? Who is this guy? He's on my list because I don't see him mentioned either. Because I was like, wait a second, what about that one guy from corporate? He's not mentioned in anything. Why is that? Hmm? Sounds like he has a very important job. Why is Kai not mentioned in anything? I need to know. Is Miss McAllister who was on the phone in the security? Yes. Yes. So the person in the video, the ring camera, the person that's standing there is Brandon. And then on the phone is Kai from corporate. So that's why when they say, when the guy on the phone, Kai, says, well, they're taking over and everything about the business now goes to them, like that came from corporate. That was not just Brandon and Josh saying that. So where's that guy? What's going on with him? I'm going to be doing a lot of other. It's probably not important deep diving. It's more so that I'm just nosy. I am a very nosy person, and I want to go more into like who these people are, and their connections to things because it's obviously much bigger than anybody thought it was going to be, and that's what they're really pissed about. He's on your list to figure out too. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to send you my spreadsheet today. I'm going to do my best not to forget. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Co-defendants directly or indirectly. Again, same thing. They're stalking employees, impersonating delivery drivers and religious people. Blah 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 blah. Same thing. The Schneider Group directly interfered with plaintiff's employee relations by, whatever, publicly soliciting BAM employees to act as undercover agents to leak confidential information, record inside stores without authorization, obtain private information, and participate in stage confrontations. Who are they talking about? Like what BAM employees? They mention the Lego Queen. I forget what her name was. That was one person, and she looked to continue working at the store, and what would she know? She is, like, bottom tier level to what confidential information could she possibly have? And then they mention, what's the other guy's name that they bring up that worked at corporate? Who are all these other people? Harassing and intimidating employees at store locations and their private residence to the point where employees fear for their safety and the safety of their families. Well, I bet they all were like the big bad wolves around. Filming and publishing confrontations with employees to humiliate them and generate content. It's also just the internet. And making statements designed to undermine employee morale and loyalty. This conduct has caused a distrustful and hostile work environment where employees fear for their safety. Or are they just hearing things and now they're like, wait a second, who am I working for? Are we the baddies? Have I been working for the baddies this whole time? I don't know. Yay, spreadsheets. Anna says, I'm afraid of stuff that Ben might have done that we didn't see. Well, of course. I mean, yes, me too. I mean, some of the stuff we did see wasn't great for both sides. Uh, it's going to be, that's why there's, you know, legal things going on. But also, I don't want to. you don't want to trust everything that's in here because they too have their own narrative, their own agenda, right? And that is to silence this conversation that is ruining their business. So a lot of their claims, I'm going to need to see proof of that. Because I did not really get the vibes from that, guys. Did they do stupid things? Yes, they did. All right. And they probably will win some stupid prizes. But a lot of this, I don't know. I'm not going to take their word for it after what we saw, how we saw them in the videos and what they did, because they were going dirty. And I feel like Ben and friends weren't necessarily going dirty, dirty like they were. Oh, in disguise. Hi, coming in hot with breaking news. What is this? Just announced Ben and Brian has new civil lawyers, and they are big time lawyers who they filed. Oh, honey, I don't know what it is you're saying. You're too excited. You're too excited. They filed papers in the last 2 hours to take down the TRO. God, I believe you. You've been very good for information. Ooh, who is it? Hold on. Side quest, friends. I bet is it on Reddit already? I'm going to pull up my Reddit. Uh, let's do that. I bet they've said something. Let's see who these lawyers are. Oh, I hope this is true because my God, they need it. Can't let these bastards win, in my opinion, or at least hold them accountable for what they need to be held accountable for. All right, let's see. Breaking. What is this? Hold on. We'll just share this tab. Let's look on Reddit for a second, you guys. All right. So, first update here in the Reckless Bed subreddit. We are on Reddit. Okay, guys, remember that. If you're not used to it, be a little, we'll see what's coming in. So, here, Bam backs off of Ben ban. New joint motions in the Bam. These people are pretty reliable, though. They do good work over here on the Reckless Ben subreddit. I very much appreciate the hard work that's going on over here. Requests that modify the TRO and remove the previous broad restraints on speech. Attorney for Ben, Victor, and I'm sorry, Benjamin Snyder. Oh, Ben, Victor, Reckless Ben, the company, entered the new proposed TRO in court with the consent of all parties. The modifications would allow Ben to speak as soon as the judge signs it. Source with knowledge, the proceedings expect the order to be signed today, possibly within the next hour. When was this posted? 49 minutes ago. Lawyers are currently in the courthouse, which means, yes, they do have lawyers if that's the case. It appears that this new agreement would apply indefinitely as the preliminary injunction in the case. As part of the negotiated agreement, the defendants agreed to waive the June 30th hearing and cover this agreement into an indefinite preliminary injunction. Okay. This seems to be a major retreat by plaintiffs. The overall document is much shorter under the new proposed order. Videos will stay up. Oh, here's the doc here. Read down, Llama. This is Chris reports things. Okay, I've checked out his stuff before. Okay, let's read it, guys. Oh shoot. Okay, what are we doing here? Bam Snyder. That's probably where it is. Do. It's probably the last thing at the bottom here, isn't it? Yes. Oh, there we go. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys aren't seeing the right thing. All right, here we go. Oh shit. They do. All right, they've done a fairly good job. Redacting things. Please take note that Scott Young, Melinda Bowen, Haley Wynn, and the law firm of Spencer Fain LLP hereby enter their appearance as counsel on behalf of defendants Ben, Reckless Ben, Victor in the above caption matter and request that they be copied electronically on all fucking yes. Wow, they got a whole team. Oh, thank God. This is such good news for them. Oh, because I was like, "Sweet little Ben, all right?" Like, no, you're fine for being too excited. We're all too excited. Oh my goodness. This is great news, actually. This is really, really great news. But let's keep reading. We're sidetracking from the complaint. Now I don't feel like we have to rush through things to get there. All right, let's see what else they're saying about this. So, attorneys appeared. I'm going to keep that open. I'm going to look up that law firm here in a little bit. So, let's duplicate that, save that for later. I got to add all these to my spreadsheet anyway. Oh, I love that. This is very, very good news, friends. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of how this Proton thing works, but it's just because I'm not very familiar with it, not because it's bad. And I appreciate all the hard work that goes in for all of these sites. It is not easy keeping up with stuff. All right, this is a motion for modification of temporary restraining order and entry of preliminary injunction. Okay. Okay, so this is filed by Ben's side. Okay. Spencer. All right, so when we see Spencer Fain, that is Ben's side. When we see Delton, right? That's Bam's side. In fact, they got good lawyers to be able to fight. I fucking love this. This is such good news. He heard you scolding him about getting a look right little on me. So Ben, there was this lady on YouTube. She had been drinking a little bit of wine. And not that many people are watching her, but we need to give you a message from her and then to get a fucking lawyer, Ben. Okay. You need this. You need this so bad. So, oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy. Distraction alert. I know, right? But this is breaking news here. This is amazing. Dan Montana says, I predicted he would come on with a lawyer at the last moment. Thank goodness, indeed. Thank goodness. All right. So plaintiffs, BAM, Eamon, blah, 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 all of those people, and defendants, Ben, Brian, all of them jointly stipulate. So they're both agreeing to this, agree and move the court to modify its temporary restraining order entered on June 9th. We haven't read that yet, but the judge did grant that to them. And then the evidentiary hearing was to see if it would go further, by the way. So, to convert such into a preliminary injunction and to vacate the hearing scheduled for June 30th, 2026, in order to permit the parties to engage in settlement discussions and or mediation following an exchange of relevant documents and other information. I don't know if there's actually going to be settlements coming up already. I don't know, but this is basic lawyer talk right away, right? This is to show the judge, hey, we're trying to work together because in civil court, you have to have good faith and file good faith certificates that you guys like talked about things and tried to work things out before going to the judge. So, okay. Plaintiffs, BAM, allege they are suffering and will continue to suffer immediate and irreparable injury before this action can be fully heard, as set forth in the verified complaint and motion for temporary restraining order. I mean, that's true. That's true. Things are not going um, well at all for this. Defendants dispute these allegations, intend to assert counterclaims, Ben's side does, against plaintiffs and contest plaintiffs' entitlement to any relief. So they're still fucking fighting things, by the way. They plan on doing this, but they got to say, yeah, we're going to try to work things out on this side. But including, but not limited to, a permanent injunction. Plaintiffs, BAM, likewise dispute Ben and Friends' counterclaims. Despite these differences, the parties have agreed to mediate this case. All right. And in light of this, they jointly move the court to modify the temporary restraining order and base therein adopt such as a preliminary injunction to the form attached as Exhibit A, which is summarized as follows. Defendants agree, Ben and Friends agree that their affiliates, employees, contractors, agents, and representatives, and anyone acting in concert with them, directly or indirectly, in person remotely or online, are immediately restrained from making, transmitting, soliciting, encouraging, or facilitating death threats, bomb threats, or other physical violence, and or knowingly and intentionally engaging in property destruction, stalking, trespass, interference, extortion, personal injury, or property damage against plaintiffs, their independent franchises, employees, officers, owners, customers, attorneys, vendors, or family members. Okay, that's fair. Um, Now, internet, if you're listening, all right, they will, if you go and try to do this stuff, they are still going to blame it on them. All right, so help them out. We don't need to be doing any of that. Most of the internet does not do those things. I don't think anyone here is like that at all. But that's pretty normal request there and a very fair request for both sides. Remember, they're both stipulating to these things. So publishing, they're also saying publishing or encouraging others to publish personal addresses, personal phone numbers, personal email addresses, family information, or other doxing information of any kind regarding plaintiffs' personnel, franchisees, owners, or employees. Now, that is why I'm very big into telling every time I've done a stream so far, I've done like three, a lot of the documents that are going around are being stored places, which is amazing. Yes, they're public documents, but you absolutely need to redact anything like that, especially if you want content creators to cover it. And that is also because of YouTube's policy, where if it shows somebody's address, let's say it shows Eamon's address, right? Eamon can file a privacy dispute on our stream, take it down. We can get in trouble for that. And you're not going to get people willing to risk that. And a lot of creators are not going to go out of their way to redact things on their own. I don't mind because I do this stuff a lot. So we know that. But other creators who like aren't really into like reading legal documents and doing court stuff, they may not even know that. So spread the word everywhere, guys. We need to make sure everything is redacted that goes online that needs to be. Um, I had to, I forget who it was, sent me a bunch of documents the other day, which was so kind and amazing. But I had to go in and redact a bunch of stuff in there because they had everybody's personal email addresses, not even just Bam, but Ben and his team. And the internet's crazy, you know? So, yeah. Entering, remaining at, filming, blocking access to, or approaching within a defined distance, not less than 100 yards, plaintiffs or their franchises, stores, offices, warehouses, franchise locations, parking areas, employee homes, or franchise homes hereafter, except through counsel, lawful service, a process, or a court approved activity. Let's not forget about all those does. I don't know if they're implying we're all does or what, but and again, this is all stuff. Of course, they're going to stipulate this stuff, right? It could cause more criminal legal trouble for everybody. So, impersonating plaintiffs, any franchisee, law enforcement, a court officer, a delivery service, a customer, a government entity, employee, or any other third party to obtain signatures, access statements, employee information, audio, video recordings, customer information, and or to effectuate an interference or business disruption. Okay. Touching, altering, covering, defacing, or placing signage on any other form of communication affecting plaintiffs or their franchisees' physical property. I mean, none of these people should be getting close to this anyway with all the law stuff going on. Like, it's not worth it. Physically blocking, deterring, or interfering with customers, employees, vendors, or delivery personnel doing business with plaintiffs or their franchises in any way, including entering or leaving such locations, and soliciting plaintiffs, employees, franchisees, or contractors to leak confidential information, record inside stores without authorization, obtain phone numbers or private information, or create or participate in stage confrontations. I think that's all fair. I mean, they've already got the story out. There's no reason to continue on with all of that. It's just not necessary at this point. And again, this is to actually protect both parties. So exactly. Most of Ben's videos will be things that have already happened. Exactly. Exactly. Um, you do not accept prior restraint from unauthorized other jurisdictions. Um, I wonder if they're going to let him release the third video. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Subject to the foregoing, nothing in this order shall prohibit defendants from discussing plaintiffs, commenting on this litigation, good, publishing court filings, engaging in, oh, wait, no, nothing in this order. Okay, I was reading right. Engaging in investigative journalism, expressing opinions, criticism, satire, and or commentary through any lawful means or methods they choose, including, but not limited to, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and podcast, and or other internet, television, radio, and social platforms. That is very important. So they are allowed to talk about things. They could release that third video. I would say their lawyers are probably already asked to view it in advance, just in case. Do I think these people should go talking about all of this? No. Listen to your lawyers when they tell you to shut the fuck up, okay? But they still reserve the right to do that. And that for the TRO, I know we haven't read it yet, but I know what it contained. That was really the most important part is taking away someone's First Amendment rights here. And so they're like, fine, you guys can still talk about this stuff. So that is a really, really good win. But remember, everything they say will or can and will be used in the court of law. Okay. So don't go saying stupid shit. All right. As a matter of fact, probably just refrain or be very tiptoe around the things. So, anyone think we'll eventually get a Netflix series out of this? Yes, I do. If not Netflix, I think HBO will do one. I'd rather have HBO do one, to be quite frank with you. But so this is really good news here. Pursuant to Utah code, plaintiffs shall not be required to pay as security a bond at this time. The preliminary injunction will remain in effect until further order of the court. Nothing in the preliminary injunction shall be construed as a waiver of any party's right to pursue past, present, and future claims and damages against any other party. Well, this is freaking fantastic, guys. This is why he needed a lawyer or lawyers. This is all very standard. I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've read and other things, this is very standard stuff, right? Everybody promises and stipulates to not interfere with things, stay away from each other like adults. You're still all allowed to talk about it. You know, Bam can say whatever they want. Brian or Ben and friends can say whatever they want. None of them should right now. And for this to take place over the entirety of the court case, this is all very normal stuff. So this is really, really good news. Does it suck we're not going to have a hearing on Tuesday? Probably. But let's read the next thing. That was also filed. Where did my folder go? Why won't, oh, because I got to exit out. All right, what was the other one? So this is the proposed order that they're expecting to be signed today. I would expect it to be signed today too, because all of those were reasonable requests and both sides stipulated it, which is basically a judge going, you're like, oh, you both agreed? Done. So it is currently being looked over by a judge, and that's amazing. Has the judge signed off on this yet? No, not yet, but probably expected today. So Based on the parties' joint motion for, so this is what they're putting in front of the judge. This is what both sides want the judge to sign as soon as possible, i.e., today. Based on the parties' joint motion for modification of temporary restraining order, let's see, it's probably all the same, right? Plaintiffs allege they are suffering. Okay, yeah, this is literally verbatim what we just read. Defendants agree. No, yeah, see, it's the same exact thing. Wanting the judge to sign that. Stage confrontation, subject to the foregoing. Nothing in this order prohibits anyone from discussing anything. Yeah, same thing. They just want the judge to sign it. Well, that is that is very good news. Very, very good news. So you still see the new lawyer screen. Is my YouTube broken again? Yeah, you might want to refresh it. Your YouTube's broken. How'd you piss off the YouTube gods, Jeep Daddy? Huh? That's true. I'm not fully functional. I'm a little hungover. Huh? No, this is says at the top, order. This is what's being proposed. Oh, never mind. You're right. Well, I couldn't tell the difference because they were exactly the same. So it is literally the same thing. So I guess no, maybe your YouTube's not bad. I'm just bad. So that's just what they want the judge to sign today, and he very much will. Very much. All you see is a notice of appear of counsel. What? It shows on my StreamYard, and then it's the order modifying temporary restraining order. Hold on, what if I take it down and then put it back up? Did that work? I don't know. Well, I read the motion, so that's what it said. I don't know if that's working. Oh, farts. Maybe it's my share screen that got stuck or something. You see it. I think everybody else is just being mean to me in disguise. They're just fucking with me. Oh, so Amos says that is the same one on the Charlie Kirk case? How? How's he doing all of the different ones? Hmm. You'll own responsibility for me being a delinquent last night. All right. All right. So YouTube's just acting funny for some people. So probably just refresh it and we'll see what happens. All right. Well, that was a fun side quest, you guys. That one makes me feel a lot better because I was like, how the fuck are we going to cover all this stuff before Tuesday? So now we can pivot, which is, though I am kind of disappointed we don't get to go to court on Tuesday, but that's okay. This is what's in the best interest of everybody. So it's on there now. It wasn't on there before. Timeline, receipts, screenshots, fucking everything, llama. I'm not crazy. Oh, okay. Well, do we see this now? The complaint I was reading? We're almost done with it. And this is also all the same stuff. Let's talk about the money that they owe us. Actually, you know what? This is all the same stuff. I think we can skip the rest of this complaint. What do you guys think? It's literally the same things that we read for 80 other pages. Plaintiffs are entitled to awards, blah, 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 blah. All right. Yeah. You know what? We're done. We're done with the complaint. I want to get to the exhibits because what I really want to read, and I have not read yet, is this. Do we see Exhibit A before? I'm crazy. I've learned to live with it. Sidekicks unite. Excuse me. I'm going to file a complaint for a conspiracy going on with sidekicks. All right. I think you are maliciously trying to damage my reputation, Buffy and Cheat Daddy. Is that the same judge that signed the no bail warrant? I think so, but I don't know that to be true. I haven't got there yet. All right. We do see Exhibit A. Llama could have boxes of duckies on screen, and I wouldn't know. Mostly being mostly audio at work. I would never humiliate myself like that. Echoes. Rubber duckies are humiliating. Um, has Paramount approached you for any new Star Trek project? Because your voice is so deep and commanding, worthy of a Starfleet captain. Thank you. Would I space travel though? I don't know. I don't think I would. I've thought about it before and I'm like, oof, I don't know if I could do deep space travel. Um, you're gonna see some Sidekicks Unite merch. I know they're gonna revolt against me and Echoes. I know it. American Forks is a small town. Doubt they have too many judges. Okay, well, I didn't know how big of a town it was. I haven't looked into that yet. So, all right. Well, Exhibit A, that's all these exhibits were filed along with the complaint. So this is the consignment agreement between, yeah, see the redactions? I'm so bad at it. And then I was like, oh, I could just open up this in Google and like highlight black over it. Just sometimes it takes me a while to get places. All right. But this is what I've really been wanting to read is Brian's consignment agreement with Crystal and Benjamin. So it says A, but it's only 4 pages. All right. So this agreement was made effective as of November 22nd, 2023 between Brian Mansell and Bricks and Minifigs Salem Kaiser, Crystal and Benjamin's Bricks and Minifigs. The parties agree as follows. 1. Right to sell. Mansell, Brian, owns a large collection of retired Star Wars Lego sets and minifigures, new, unopened, and used Star Wars Legos, as cataloged and set forth on the attached Schedule 1 of this agreement. In accordance, which, by the way, pause, didn't they say in that complaint that they refused to hand this over? How the fuck did Bam get it then? I could have swore they were like, she wouldn't give us anything. And how'd you get this then? Hmm. We're judging their judges. Oh, I'm gonna look into the lawyers and everything tonight and who they were or are. I'm so happy for them that they were able to get these civil attorneys. I hope they're big and bad and not afraid of what they're up against. And Sheldon and friends getting the civil rights lawyer they got for the American Fork Police Department. This is all very good news um, for everybody right now. So, okay, it starts like a math word problem. Okay, I Paramount. I'm available. I don't have any acting experience, but I am available, and I would absolutely wear a uniform. All right. Anyway, in accordance with this agreement, Mansell grants Bricks an exclusive right to sell the Star Wars Legos under the terms of this agreement. Mansell agrees to deliver to Bricks on consignment the Star Wars Legos. Bricks agrees to devote its best efforts to the sale of the Star Wars Legos. All sale prices and terms of sale shall be determined by mutual consent of the parties. Okay. Proceeds 2. Proceeds of sales. Bricks will pay to Mansell a portion of the sales proceeds, which shall be calculated as follows: 65% of the proceeds from the gross sale price of the Star Wars Legos, excuse me, unless otherwise agreed on Schedule 2 of this agreement. The amount determined in the previous sentence shall be paid to Mansell in monthly installments on or before the 15th day following the installment period in which the proceeds were obtained. So he's getting 65% gross once a month. Okay. With each net proceeds payment, Bricks will submit to Mansell a written report, the form of which is set forth on Schedule 3 of this agreement, that sets forth the calculation of the amount of the net proceeds payment, inventory sold to date, and remaining inventory. Why is this a whole different font here? What is this? Notwithstanding, this must be an add-on. Notwithstanding this section 2, it is agreed between Bricks and Mansell that with respect to proceeds obtained from forfeited layaway deposits or proceeds generated from gift cards, store credit, or trade-ins, collectively alternative compensation will be due and paid 6 months following the date of Bricks' receipt of the alternative compensation. So he still gets the layaway money, part of it, every 6 months? Oh, okay. Um, all right. 3, records. Bricks shall keep accurate records regarding the quantities of the Star Wars Legos that are sold. Brian Mansell shall have the right to inspect such records and the remaining inventory from time to time. Ooh. So he should have also been allowed to been there, right? When they were taking over the store? Why wasn't he? Lane Grace says, Llama watches Real Housewife, and you're surprised she judges? No one is safe. And I love her for this. That's true. It's true. You need to send the robots after these docs. It's, yes, I agree. And you know how I feel about that. 4, title to merchandise. Consigned merchandise shall remain the property of Mansell until sold. So both of these right here, if Josh and Brandon were responsible for this consignment agreement, then after they bought the store, then Brian had every right to ask to see them, to go in there and see them and take account of everything. And they were his until they were sold. So good luck with that, corporate. 5, loss insurance. Bricks agrees to store the Star Wars Legos in a manner customary in the industry to prevent damage to the Star Wars Legos and its packaging. Bricks shall be responsible for all shortages, loss, or damage to Star Wars Legos. Uh-oh. Until while the Star Wars Legos are under the control of Bricks and represents and warrants that it has purchased insurance sufficient to cover the loss or damage of the Star Wars Lego due to, without limitation, fire, flood, theft, or vandalism. Brick covenants it shall maintain such insurance in adequate amounts to pay for replacement of the merchandise in the event of such shortages, loss, or damage for the duration of its possession of the Star Wars Legos. So is this the part that Bam is arguing? That because now I don't know Crystal and Benjamin's story yet, okay? We haven't gotten there. All right. But in their complaint, they said, "Oh, Crystal and Ben owe us like $175,000. That's why their store was taken over, blah, blah, blah." Is this the part where they're saying, "Actually, we didn't lose, you lost the Legos." I'm like, "That's on you." Because it says, "Well, it's under the control of Bricks." I wonder if that's what they're arguing about. I don't know how much that holds up. I was just wondering. 6, payroll taxes. Bricks shall be exclusively liable for and shall indemnify Mansell against such liability for all employee payroll taxes and insurance arising out of wages payable to persons employed by Bricks in connection with the performance of this agreement. 7, defaults. If Bricks fails to abide by the obligations of this agreement, including the obligation to remit the consignment payment to Mansell when due, Mansell shall have the option to cancel this agreement by providing 14 days written notice to Bricks. Bricks shall have the option of preventing the termination of this agreement by taking corrective action that cures the default. If such corrective action is taken prior to the end of this time period stated in the previous sentence, and if there are no other defaults during such time. Now, I know Crystal and Ben have done a lot of interviews, but if they were thinking of closing, and maybe they've answered this somewhere, if they were um, planning on moving out of the country anyway, I assume they gave Brian notice of this. Did they give them the option of removing all of his stuff beforehand? But they said they were just talking about it from what I know. And then Bam came in and was like, well, too fucking bad. We're doing it anyway. I don't know. How did that work out? April says, I love how positive Llama in the chat are. Oh, thank you. I peeked in another live yesterday. They were in the midst of an internet battle with other streamers. Oh, I mean, it happens. We do our best here to just be chill. Okay. I'm not a drama llama for a reason. Case closed. Oh, on this earlier part, the records and title of merchandise. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a big hurdle. It's going to be a very big hurdle. Echoes. I love spectating streamer battles. I mean, I like watching. I just don't like participating in it. Buffy says the wording says Bricks, not Crystal and Benjamin. So I'm not sure Bam can put this on Crystal and Benjamin. Or I don't know. I don't think so either. I was just wondering out loud. Hi, Pine. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Happy to see you. What do you want, Zoe? Just hanging out? Just standing there staring? Okay. No, she needs to go outside. Please hold. Just 1 second. All right, come on, ladies. Come on. There you go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Where was I? All right. So we did taxes, defaults, 8. Dispute resolutions. The parties will attempt to resolve any dispute arising out of or relating to this agreement through friendly negotiations amongst the parties. If the matter is not resolved by negotiation, the parties will resolve the dispute using the below alternative dispute resolution procedure. What does that mean? Any controversies or disputes arising out of or relating to this agreement will be submitted to mediation in accordance with any statutory rules of mediation. If mediation is not successful in resolving the entire dispute or is unavailable, any outstanding issues will be submitted to binding arbitration under the rules of American Arbitration Association. The arbitrator's award will be final and judgment may be entered upon it by any court having proper jurisdiction. Transfer of rights. This agreement shall be binding on any successors of the parties. Oh, there's another point. Neither party shall have the right to assign its interest in this agreement unless the prior written consent of the other party is obtained. Okay. Ooh, who wrote up the contract? I don't know. I assume it's Crystal. I assume. Um, Echo says, I'd love for an expert to analyze their corporate liability structure as it relates to franchises. Me too. That's why I'm trying to get Big Tiff Dog into this, man. I'm trying real hard. Cool comic guy. Hello, welcome back. Hope you had a good night last night. She was told by Kai on the phone that night when Bess took over, it was no longer her concern and to wash her hands of it. Yeah. Ooh, not good for their argument there, huh? It was Brian that wrote the contract, as you understand. Okay. Well, there's already 3 points that are helping their case against Josh, Brandon, and Bam here. Oops, I went too far. Termination. This agreement may be terminated by either party by providing 30 days written notice to the other party. This agreement shall terminate automatically on January 31st, 2025, provided, so literally 2 months after they get the store taken away. Provided that any amounts due to Mansell under this agreement, including any unpaid proceeds from sales and any unpaid losses pursuant to Section 5 above, shall continue to be due and shall be paid within 30 days of the termination date. To the extent there are proceeds derived from alternative compensation within 6 months of termination, such compensation will be paid by Bricks to Mansell within 6 months following Bricks' receipt of the alternative compensation. All unsold Star Wars Legos shall be returned to Mansell within 10 days of termination of this agreement in its original condition. Mm. Did Brian ever have any issues with Crystal and Benjamin? Like, did they pay him regularly or, did they have a fairly decent relationship before the store shut down? Oh, he didn't write it. Okay. He didn't write it. Um, so, okay. Did Brian sign it? I don't think this is that copy because there aren't signatures on it. There seems to be some missing information on this one. So I don't know. Let's see, where was I? Entire agreement. This agreement contains the entire agreement of the parties with respect to the subject matter of this agreement, and there are no other promises or conditions in any other agreement, whether oral or written. This agreement supersedes any prior written or oral agreements between the parties with subject to the subject matter of this agreement. Amendment. This agreement may be modified or amended if the amendment is made in writing and is signed by both parties. If any provision of this agreement shall be held to be invalid or unenforceable for any reason, the remaining provisions shall continue to be valid and enforceable. If a court finds that any provision of this agreement is invalid or unenforceable, but that by limiting such provision it would become valid or enforceable, then such provision shall be deemed to be written, constructed, and enforced as so limited. Waiver of contractual right. The failure of either party to enforce any provision of this agreement shall not be construed as a waiver or limitation of that party's right to subsequently enforce and compel strict compliance with every provision of this agreement. Applicable law. This agreement shall be governed by the laws of the state of Oregon, and this agreement shall be signed by Brian and the owners of Bricks and Minifigs, Crystal. This agreement is effective as of the date first written above. Now, this one does not have signatures. It does not have dates. Um, and then it talks about all these schedules and like everything, and they're just simply not in here. So I don't know if this is even the original this is BAM. BAM submitted this to the court. So I don't know where they got this from or what. Um, I don't really like form of accounting of sales. Like there's nothing there and there should be. So I don't know. Cool Comic Guy says, no, never. She was behind, but she was doing the job. Oh, okay. There was no disagreements or, it was a fairly decent business relationship that they had. I mean, it didn't seem like he had any animosity towards them, but I don't know. We also only saw parts of the conversations on the videos. So, all right. So the next exhibit I, because the other exhibits like B through H, they're Ben's videos, all of that. The second one is the inventory log, Brian's inventory log, apparently. But I don't want to cover that quite yet. Because as if Bubba's still here, um, it's a lot to go through, and I want to familiarize myself with it before we go over it because it's all spreadsheets and numbers, which I love. But we will definitely dive into the inventory at a later date soon because I think that's very important. So this is the incident log. This is, again, this is all submitted by BAM, and this is all of the times they called the police. Here, let me let you guys over here so I can make, there we go. Oh God, it's so big and so white. Jeez. Actually, I'm gonna make it bigger because that's not even big enough for you guys, is it? There we go. Hopefully you can see it. So this is all the times the cops were called. All right. So starting December 11th, 2025 at 10:30 on a Friday in Utah, Orem, Utah, witness had a conversation with a member of the suspect's cohort, which the cohort member revealed actions already taken and plans for future harassment and vandalization. So this person, oh, the staff involved is this Adam guy, um, said they had a conversation and called the cops. Okay, but that was it. Is that where their corporate is? Orem, Utah, I think. Oh, hi, AZ. AZ, happy to see you here again. Oh, I don't know if I said hi to you or not, but I meant to. Yeah, it's all just Ben's videos and stuff. So the only inventory log that matters is BAM's log and their storage on the computer dated 2024. They tried to say they never had. Oh, are you talking about who did the image? Brandon, I think, of that store. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, I don't trust that either. Action taken. Witness report given to investigating officer after the suspects and cohorts made an appearance at BAM franchising corporate office. Oh, okay. So yeah, the franchising is there in Orem. Okay. So they call the cops about that. Then and has anybody gotten all of these police reports? I haven't seen them anywhere. I mean, I listen, all this stuff costs money, and I understand. People are fronting their own money to do this. I was just wondering because I want to read them. Because again, BAM just turned in this incident log. There could be more things said in the reports. All right, where was I? March 8th, 2026, Sunday, 1:03 p.m. This is in American Fork, Utah. Suspect and his cohorts dressed up as a UPS delivery driver and left a package at the victim's home. Unknown. What's the unknown category? Suspect name. Okay. They don't know who it is. And Josh called it in, and the police called a trespass was ordered. Then the same day, ooh, I do like this timeline. This is going to come in handy with all there is police docs on the BAM Sucks website. All of their reports. I don't know. Maybe. I don't have them. And I went through all of it. Right? It's perfectly legal to talk to somebody. Perfectly legal. Unless they ask you to leave. So on the same day, Sunday, March 8th, to suspect and or cohorts to the suspect made an appearance to the home of one of the victim's sister's house. Suspects harassed the family. Unknown, which means they weren't there. Jessica, the sister, police called trespass ordered Pleasant Grove police. Okay. Then is that the same day again? So in between these two, hi, hun. In between these two at 6 p.m. on Sunday in Sandy, Utah, suspect cohorts dressed up as a UPS delivery driver and left a package at the victim's home. That's at Brandon's place. Police called trespass ordered. So 3 phone calls in one day. Okay. March 11th, 3:48 p.m. Suspect and cohorts hung a defamatory banner in the victim's subdivision, and he was sad. Here, Ben was on site, called in by Josh. Police called trespass order, harassment, and stalking charges filed. And wasn't he was arrested for that one, right? If I remember right. Um, I think so. Then on the 10th, why are these out of order? How hard is it to put things in order, people? God damn. You pay these lawyers a fuck ton of money and they can't seem to do anything right. All right. So back to the 10th, the day before, a Tuesday at 5:42 p.m. Suspect and cohort visited Josh Johnson's house to further harass and engage in content creation. Ben Schneider was there along with Josh. Police called, trespass ordered, suspect arrested. Okay. And then on the 11th, the one we just read was again suspect in cohorts hung a defamatory banner. And he, okay, he was arrested then too. It didn't say he was arrested, but I feel like that's when he gets arrested from the SWAT, right? Is on the 11th. Interesting. Is that in here? I wonder. What, hun? What? No? Okay. I thought you were talking to me. All right. So March 9th, 7:04 p.m. on a Monday. Oh, God. Okay. A member of the suspect's cohort appeared at the home of Josh Johnson, pretending to be a member of Josh's church congregation to lure him out of the house and harass and record them. Unknown who the person was, even though they talked to them, I thought. Josh called, police called, trespass ordered. Then another one with literally no information at all. Why is there no information here? Suspicious. This one, 3:13, unknown time on Friday. How is this stuff unknown? Ben Schneider and crew made an appearance at the Bricks Minifigs South Jordan store, filming people and demanding statements and explanations out of out of the owner and their employees. So that had Ben and this Jacob guy, who is the general manager. Police called, trespass ordered. This is no date, no time, no day in Kaiser, Oregon. Follow up with Kaiser PD to see if Marion County Sheriff's Department needs to take on the issue of the suspect filing false documents with Marion County. Ben, police called, incident reported. So they're calling the police like, they're filing these things and I don't like it. Josh is such a Karen, right? Well, let me pull you guys over here and see what y'all are saying. Um, unless you say mean things about me on the internet, then I copy strike you and whine on the internet about it too. That's right. Um, let's see. Yeah, Josh, the fisher of men, called the cops on a Mormon kid that wanted to have a faith-based combo with him. One thing I've learned about very uber religious people is they don't like it when you're like, yeah, but you're so religious, but what about this thing? They don't like it when you do that. Um, then do it to talk about it then, cheap daddy. Because BAM lawyers are JR lawyers and have no business filing this suit. What does JR mean right now? I can't think. They just got a big name. Their lawyer, from what I saw, have like 3 years experience. Are you talking about the BAM lawyers? Are they little like baby lawyers? How I know, right? How difficult is it to select sort ascending on a column? Does it cost like another $300 or something? Again, all of this filing for this complaint, bet your ass it was thousands of dollars. And I literally do most of the shit for free for myself like every day. I need to start charging myself, I guess. Um, it is, yeah, definitely a billable half day. Oh, so they are little baby lawyers. Well, it kind of shows. It kind of shows with their repetitive nature, getting things wrong, all of this. I'd be pissed if I hired them. Then, sometime in April 2025, again, they literally have the case numbers here. Why do you not have this other information? Interesting. Ben Schneider made a visit to the Bricks and Minifig Salem location to attempt to make good on falsified contracts that he then filed with Marion County. Additionally, the store was vandalized with banners and signs and members of the suspect's cohorts setting up a fictional giveaway from the Salem store and falsely claiming to be store staff public members to the public. Ben and others, Brandon calls it in. The police called, incident reported. Then on March 11th at 1:51 p.m. Wednesday, suspect and cohort made an appearance at the Orem Bricks and Minifigs location. He attempted to defame BAM Corporate to customers before an employee kicked them out. Ben and then other people that work there, police called, reported trespassing. Okay. Here's some more. This is all the same things and still out of order. So I don't know why it's like this. And here's pictures of whatever case this is. I don't know who that lady is. She's not the process server lady, right? I don't think that's the same lady. I don't know who that is. And we got some more pictures here. Ben, his picture. What are you wearing, Ben? Oh, that's funny. The most Legos. There's a certificate. They're so upset about that. Oh, this is what they're saying is the forged signature. There's other Ben, imposter Ben, at the table. A picture of Ben here, a short he did. He's really into wearing 90s clothing, I see. Okay, so this is one box. This is different than the box that Sheldon was holding. This one, hold on, let me zoom in a little bit more. This one does not, oh, that's as far as I can go. Maybe not, I won't do that because it does have an address on it. It does not say UPS and all of USPS and all that stuff on there. Whoever that guy is, I don't know who that guy is. Driver of some sort. Okay, here's the one guy. Oh, sorry. Delivering that. That is a giant fly. Oh my goodness. That's not the same boxes that were in the other one. That's the Mormon kid. Oh, you think that is her? I know, they can't do anything right. Um, truth is not defamation, and from everything out there from BAM, Ben has been telling the truth. I mean, right? They gotta prove that what he was saying is not true. So, good luck with that, because then you're gonna have people looking into your shit. I don't think they want to. Bubba says, hot off the press, Ben as a civil lawyer, 5 in fact, and there has been a filing by them. Scott Young is the lead attorney. Yes, Bubba, we read that. Somebody else came in here and said, that's amazing. I'm so happy about that. And it does look like that was a very fair, stipulated, and reasonable agreement for the two, and they can still talk about it. So that's good. Well, isn't Utah an anti-slap law state as well? Meaning they can't stop you from like talking about things. Um, let's see. There will be a filing of counterclaims against the plaintiff. Excuse me. I still have more reading to do tomorrow. There will be a filing of counterclaims against the plaintiff, and the TRO is being asked to be reduced to a preliminary injunction. I think that will be granted. I can't wait to read these counterclaims. I bet they'll be out next week. Bet. Um, BAM and the American Fork Police Department are going to be sued by 10 plus people. They will have big issues and lose big money. Yeah, I mean, what sucks about the police department one, right, is that the money they're losing ain't their money. It's the taxpayers' money. They don't give a fuck. But still need to hold them accountable. So here's doorbell footage of the the Mormon kid, which apparently Josh thought was very annoying, even though that's like a whole part of what they do is knock on people's doors and annoy the rest of us all of the time. But whatever. There they are at a store. Look at how scary they are, guys. It's almost like someone shut up. It's almost like someone tried to stop you from staying out and partying all night and all morning. Oh, they do have an anti-slap. Nice. Nice. Oh, are you as a citizen of American Fork, I am pissed. So you're from there. I hear the city council. Somebody did save all the city council for meetings because I can't wait to watch those. But y'all should be pissed. Y'all should be very, very pissed. Because look at what they've done doing to these. They do this shit to people all the time. And it's going to take you guys raising a ruckus as well. So notice against entering the property dated 3/13. Okay. It's in a Bricks and Minifigs drawer. Okay. How'd they get that picture? What does that even mean? Another image of them hanging the sign. So scary, that sign, you guys. So scary. Okay, and that is all for that exhibit. I know, she was up late with me. That's the most Buffy parties. So, all right, then here we have Exhibit J. You guys see that? Yes. This is the notice of trespass. Let's make this bigger. Wait, is this the one that I read bottom to top? Notice to trespass. Yes, start at the bottom and then go to the top because it's all emails and they're always backwards and it's very annoying. Do and make it big. But yeah, let's see. I had to go through and like redact every single email thing everywhere. It was very annoying. All right, so we're starting at the bottom and going up because that's how emails work, which is annoying. So on Monday, October 20th, 2025, Ben wrote, subject missing Legos. Hello, the Bricks and Minifigs in Kaiser has about $10,000 of my Legos in their store and has been telling me every day for the last month that they're going to give me back the Legos tomorrow. But they can't give it back to me because corporate is taking a long time making a contract. I'm confused why I need a contract from corporate to receive my Legos that I own. If you could email me back, that would be awesome. And let me know if you would like to get on a phone call. This email was sent from a contact form on Bricks and Minifigs. But why are you claiming they're your own? Or is this after the part where they have like that sale, $10,000 sale with Brian? Is that after this? That makes sense, probably. You're 50 years old. She's not 50 years old. Shut up. uh, they sure do. They get away with fuckery all the time. All the time. But we still got to try to hold them accountable, even if it's taxpayers that end up paying it in the end, but still. Yeah, that's what I was saying when we watched the video. Like, so what? You don't like it. You can hang it, but it sounds like the cops talked to her and then, probably intimidated her. And she's like, oh, never mind. I changed my mind. Brian gave him rights to Legos. Okay, so this was after that part. Just wanted to make sure. That makes a lot more sense here. Thank you, chat. You guys are the best. So he sold them to from Brian sold them to Ben for $10,000, even though he didn't have them in his possession. But yes. On Wednesday, October 22nd at 9:02 a.m., franchise business coach team wrote to Ben, hello, Ben. You have reached the corporate email for the Bricks and Minifigs franchising office. Thank you for reaching out to us. I will pass your message to the management team so they can review the situation with the owners of the Kaiser store. If the owners aren't able to resolve this situation with you within the next few days, feel free to reach back to us. Thanks. Ugh. 2 days later, it took you 2 days to write that email? Get out of here. So Ben writes back to them, hello, I don't think this ever got resolved. Oh, this is on Tuesday, the 28th. So 8 days since Ben first messaged them, 5 days after this. Hello, I don't think this ever got resolved. I'm just reaching back out now. Then, I don't know. He didn't write anything here. So I don't, did he write that on the 10th? I don't know how emails work, guys. On Thursday, December 11th, 2025 at 2:36 p.m., Ben writes corporate. Hello, I spoke to someone yesterday at Bricks and Minifigs corporate headquarters, and the man said that he would be happy to email myself and Brian Mansell, he spelled that wrong, the inventory list that was taken after the Kaiser Bricks and Minifigs store was seized. I think this is all Brian wanted all along. If you could please reply with the inventory list attached, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Ben. And it looks like they don't email him back on this thread anyway. To Sunday, December 14th, Ben reaches out again and wrote, "Hey, hello, just following up on this." Then they write back to him on the 18th. What was the other date? So 4 days later, they get back to him finally. "Mr. Schneider, thank you for your follow-up. As previously communicated, BAM Franchising Inc. does not discuss active legal matters or matters involving third-party claims with individuals who are not directly involved or legally authorized to represent a party in the dispute. We are aware that Mr. Mansell previously engaged legal representation regarding this issue, and as such, all further correspondence related to this matter must be directed through legal counsel. We have not received any documentation from Mr. Mansell or his attorney indicating a withdrawal of representation. Until such formal notice is provided, we will not be responding to inquiries outside of proper legal channels. Additionally, please be advised these bullet points that don't line up and I find to be annoying. You have not provided any legal basis or authority entitling you to request or receive documentation pertaining to this matter. BAM Franchising Inc. will not participate in any form of communication that appears designed for public provocation, harassment, or manipulation of facts for the purpose of media content. Attempts to obtain privileged or confidential information through misrepresentation or the creation of fraudulent documents may constitute criminal misconduct, and we reserve all rights to refer such behavior to appropriate legal authorities. Should you believe you are entitled to any specific information under applicable law, we suggest that you pursue such a request through formal and lawful legal procedures. This will serve as our final response to your inquiry unless we are contacted by duly retained legal counsel representing a party standing." I mean, that's pretty typical fucking corporate bullshit always. So the Legos aren't even Mansell's anymore. Well, he did this thing where he like, right, they bought like 10,000 shares each or something like that. But did BAM have, or sorry, did Brian have the right to sell them per the BAM contract? For the one that he had with Crystal, I mean, they're his property until they were sold. Therefore, he had every right to have them and they were his possession. So I mean this is what they're going to be arguing about in court. Excuse me. We can sit here and we can talk about it all day, but this is what they're going to argue in court for the next forever. So, sorry, as you can tell, my voice is starting to go a little bit. Bam was just helping selling them for a fee. He could sell anything on his own because they were always his. Exactly. Halfway to, oh, that's something different. How hard is it to line up the bullet points? I mean, these people are all so incompetent. Come on. The Legos were under contract. Well, yeah, but the company had dissolved, right? But then corporate says, well, we're taking it over to Crystal. It's a whole kerfuffle, you know? Hence why there's a huge court case to argue about it back and forth. Oh, here we go. There's more. So they do that, and then they do another one to him. What is this date? Oh, that's loud. This one doesn't have a date on it. Why doesn't it have a date? One job, you guys. Oh my God. To Benjamin Schneider from BAM Franchising Inc. Subject: notice of trespass, harassment, and prohibition from Bricks and Minifigs locations. Mr. Schneider, this letter serves as formal written notice that you are not authorized to enter, remain upon, or return to any Bricks and Minifigs retail location, office, or affiliated property operated by BAM Franchising Inc. or any of its franchise owners. Over the past several weeks, BAM and multiple independently owned Bricks and Minifigs franchise locations have received reports that you have appeared at store locations and engaged in conduct, including, but not limited to, entering stores while filming or attempting to film without permission, which I don't think matters, as we discussed. So, approaching employees and franchise owners regarding matters related or unrelated to store operations, recording inside and remaining in stores despite being asked not to do so. The remaining in stores is a bit of a problem there. Confronting, stalking, harassing, manipulating, or questioning staff members in a manner that disrupts normal business hours. No, manipulating. Okay. Attempting to gather video or audio recordings for purposes unrelated to any legitimate business of the store and creating a public nuisance. Don't like it. These activities have caused disruption to the store operations, interfered with operations, created a public nuisance, intimidated employees, and have created legitimate concerns for the safety and well being of store employees and customers. What was the safety part that everyone is freaking out at? Because this is before his videos were ever posted, I would assume. Interesting, they didn't put the date, but we understand you and or your associates or affiliates have been arrested in connection with, oh, so that means this is after March 11th, have been arrested in connection with your stalking and other misconduct, and that criminal charges have been or are being filed against you. Civil claims also exist and may hereafter be asserted as well. Oh, so that's why they're scared, because now they're criminals. They're scared. Bricks and Minifigs retail locations are privately owned businesses operating on private property. Store owners and operators retain the legal right to control access to their premises and to enforce reasonable rules governing conduct while on those premises. I mean, that's true. This includes the right to prohibit unauthorized filming. I don't know about that. Disruptive conduct, harassment, or intimidation of employees or customers, or any activity that interferes with normal business operations. Based on the repeated conduct reported to us, and in order to protect the safety and operations of our franchise locations, you are hereby formally directed to cease and desist from entering or remaining on the premises of any Bricks and Minifigs location for any purpose whatsoever. This prohibition applies to all Bricks and Minifigs stores and facilities, including both corporate owned and independently owned franchise locations. You know what Ben needs to do? Not release these while he's going through, excuse me, when he's going through legal stuff, is he should record his process and then sell it for a fuck ton of money when this is all over. Now, usually that doesn't go well, but that happens a lot, right? There was the Karen Reed one where they followed the case as it was happening behind the scenes and stuff. Just saying, Ben, you got to pay for stuff eventually, you know? So, but he says every time you say Mr. Schneider, all I hear is Mr. Anderson from the. That's exactly who I was channeling. And not so little llama came around the corner when I said it, and he was laughing at me. I was like, oh, my teenager sometimes thinks I'm funny. um, right. Utah is a one party state. You can film anywhere. They could just ask him to leave, not whine like a bitch. That's true. We did discover last night that Utah is a one party state. So, let's see what else. Are they including the time Josh asked for an apology and told him to go to the store and make nice with the manager, which is extortion and entrapment? Like I said, there's a lot of rules for thee, but not for me going on here. A lot of confusing, conflicting information. Without limitation, you are specifically prohibited from trespassing by entering or otherwise accessing any Bricks and Minifigs retail store or business premises, including walkways, setbacks, parking areas, driveways, etc., for any purpose. Filming, recording, live streaming, or otherwise capturing video or audio inside or outside of any store location. Attempting to question, interview, stalk, harass, or confront store employees, franchise owners, customers, or vendors. Can you stop people from asking questions or interviewing? Even customers? I don't know. Gathering video, audio, or other materials inside or outside of store premises. Yes, outside of the store premise. You can't do that. Attempting to access store locations indirectly through associates, collaborators, or third parties acting on your behalf, creating or causing a public nuisance, disrupting the peace and or interfering with Bricks and Minifigs economic relations, including its relationships with employees, customers, or vendors. Any appearance by you at a Bricks and Minifigs location after receipt of this notice will be treated as unauthorized entry onto and trespass respecting private property. Store owners and employees have been instructed that if you enter or remain on their premises after this notice, local law enforcement will be contacted immediately and the matter will be handled accordingly under applicable trespass, harassment, or other applicable criminal or civil laws. Again, they left the date out of when they sent this, but apparently after he got arrested. So, excuse me. Um, is it posted that recording isn't allowed? I don't know, probably not. Um, wonder what Josh's personal PPO does to the situation. Did they get it signed yet? Like a temporary one put in place? If you got a temporary one, then you're going to get a hearing in like 2 weeks or so, for maybe a month max of Ben going in to fight it and defend it, which he has criminal lawyers for. So, but I don't know if it's been signed yet. No, it hasn't been. Okay, well then it's going to depend. I mean, usually when you ask for a temporary one, they're signed no matter what. So it probably will be signed by a judge, but it's only temporary. And then about 2 weeks to a month is when they'll have a hearing. So if it goes through, that's what you can expect. Because that was filed in um, his criminal case, right? The one Josh recently did. I think it was under his Utah versus Ben one. So, all right. Lastly, this is the last thing we have to read today. Exhibit K, and then we finally got done with this godforsaken complaint that literally has broken my brain. All right. So this is a series of threat emails and messages sent to BAM people. And I had to go through it and I had to redact so much shit. And there are some I am not going to read. I'm not. They're unbelievably offensive and vulgar. And I don't even want to give those people their messages. I don't want to give them attention, quite frankly, because that's what those kind of people want. So we will be skipping over those. Don't worry. When you see me scroll past, you're going to see why. Um, and it sucks that people send things like this because, again, you think, I don't know what these people think, but if they think they're helping, no, they are making everything so, so much worse. So there are a few. We're just not, we're going to, and if you already know what they are, then I'm sure you understand why, but I am not going to be repeating them. So here, oh God, and they're such, they're so tiny. All right. So this one is from some guy named Samuel. Subject, give them back. Give the family their stuff back, you fucking scumbags. We won't stop till it's all returned. I mean, this was sent May 21st, so the day of the video that came out. It's not too bad. Of course, you're going to get stuff like this all the time. Welcome to the internet, okay? I mean, maybe you shouldn't call them fucking scumbags, but also, whatevs, you know? That's how that happens. Bam, I guess, never heard of the Streisand effect. This whole thing was so simple to affect. Well, now we can call it the Bam effect. I mean, Barbara's thing was how many decades ago? Let's rename it to Bam. That's how bad they are at this. But yes, yes. Ben got lawyers for this. So do we know, has he released part 3 yet? His lawyers may tell him not to. I don't know. If it ends up on the Patreon, somebody tell me so I can go watch it. So I could go watch it tonight because I need to know what 3's about. All right. Then another one was sent the same day the video came out from Kelly. Stealing from old people. Message. So why do y'all feel like it was necessary to steal from an old man going through medical issues? You're all gross, and I'll make sure to never ever step foot in your shop. And I'll also make sure to never ever recommend you. I work in a used bookstore that sells Legos. I absolutely can and will badmouth you to any and everyone that asks. Regards from Ben. See, don't fucking say shit like that. Okay, guys? It's nothing to do with Ben, but and again, that message isn't, it's not great, but any corporation has to get bad emails, right? I mean, these can't be the first time people have sent them not great emails. This one, why do you steal? From Michael. Stop stealing and hand it back to Mansell, or we'll start burning your stores and headquarters down. Fuck you, nasty fucks. Hope your family gets cancer. Michael. That is not appropriate. This is not appropriate. This gives them fuel for their fire to burn the cause. Don't send stuff like this. It's not helpful. You can be angry. You can tell them how angry you are, but don't do that. Because look, here it is. You've now entered an exhibit that they're using what you sent them to hurt the cause that apparently you're so upset about. Don't do it. Be cool. Be cool, everybody. Sheldon posted a new video today. Oh, nice. I'm going to have to watch that after I'm done with here. So yeah, all right. Let's see. Is there an exhibit J for everyone else? Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I didn't switch it over. There we go. You guys, you know me too well. This is exhibit K. I'm sorry. Do you see it now? You see Michael kind of being a little bit of an asshole and this email here. Next, Bricks and Minifigs would be a shame if your office got messed with. Thief Lover, that's the name. Email fuck yourselves at youclowns.com, which I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious. All right. I do think it's a very funny email. But okay. But the topic is not great. Thief Lover. Okay. Would be a shame if your office got messed with. I got a corporation with Frenchies, and our specialty is messing your shit right up. Would be a shame if you fuckers got a visit from one of my Frenchies owners because I can control what they do on the Frenchies level. I heard they leave the place quite messy. Hope your dickhead CEO is a strong boy. All right, well, we took it a little bit too far, Thief Lover. Okay. Be a little bit more eloquent, I guess, is all I'm saying. All right. Be cool. Let's see. Hi, Billy. Hello. Biggest problem I see is that Josh and Brandon already made 2 new LLCs. Of course they did. So they already probably shifted assets to new businesses. So even if Ben wins, those old businesses will be bankrupt. True. But if you do too much of the shell games, guess who starts coming into the picture? The feds. It's the feds. Mhm, mhm, mhm. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes there. Don't know that to be true, just my speculation. But whether it's this year or a year from now, um, cool comic guy says none of this matters in the least. BAM is a public entity and has no standing to sue for this. If they did, every public figure getting death threats would sue everybody who sends them. That's true. And I think that's why a lot of people are like, you guys are kind of being little bitches about this. Like, welcome to the internet. Like, hello. you're not fucking special. This happens every have you ever been a woman on the internet? Okay? It's not good for us out there. Well, welcome to the club, Bam. Welcome to the club. Um, so, all right, Rico. Mhm, mhm. I think there'll be lots of close eyes. If YouTubers were responsible for death threats, every YouTuber would be guilty. Exactly. That's why I'm hey, they're now taking it so they can talk about things because again, yeah, Ben did not tell anybody to do this. He didn't even remotely. I'm sure I don't know him. I don't know what goes on his head, but I'm upset about these messages, especially some of them. I imagine he would too. To send those in his name? No, not at all. Not at all. In your opinion, is the timeline well timing for you between BAM claims of their franchise being hurt by Ben and Ben's involvement? Sometimes I'm like, Ben wasn't present. I'm sorry, I don't understand your question there. Maybe it's because I haven't went into what you're asking me yet, so I don't quite. Between BAM's claims of their franchises being hurt by Ben and Ben's, sometimes I'm like, Ben was, oh, are you saying that things were already looking bad for them and that they're using a lot of their bad business practices and blaming it on Ben? Is that what you're asking? Because maybe, I don't know. I'm not them, but maybe. Maybe. I haven't gotten into all the corporate stuff yet, so that is what you're asking? I mean, I'll see, I don't have a full-fledged opinion about that yet because I haven't dived into it, but do I have a inner suspicion of what I'm gonna find when I do? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so this one, same day the video comes out, titled, "You guys are fucked. Your CEO is a dickweed." Come on, if you're gonna send asshole messages, spell check them. What's a dickweed? What is a dickweed? Email from clown at fuckyourself.com. I also want an email at fuckyourself.com. Subject, you guys are fucked. And honestly, I feel like that's a fair statement. I said that as soon as I saw the video, like, whoa boy, you guys are fucked. Good luck. But let's see what else your CEO is a dickweed has to say. I will be mailing you guys some explosive Lego sets. Come on. Super hot items. So hot, they're about to go boom. Your CEO has 2 days to step down before random stores get fun packages. You've been warned, fuckos. Now, I also want to put out there that we don't know who sent these emails. We don't know if these are people that saw the videos on the internet. We don't know if maybe they're being sent, maybe the calls are coming from inside the house. We don't know who these people are. But either way, none of it is cool. All right. At all. Not cool. Oh, this is one. We're not going to be, nope, we're not reading that. Nope. I forgot to do that. Um, okay, this one is safe. The last one, appalling and disgusting. Hold on. Make this one a little bit smaller here. All right, this is from Give Them Back. Subject, fuck around, find out, which I mean, oh yeah, their email address is not kind. Do not like that. Message body. Amen. I will say this only one time. Apologize for defrauding a vulnerable person and give them the money. I don't care about the law. I don't care about your lawyers. I have a very real way of handling real criminals, and you are a real criminal. I'll be watching the news. Pay every dollar. I will not contact you again. This is the only opportunity you get. Also, these are not great. Though I feel like they also got a bunch of other emails that these are the worst of the worst. Okay, I'm going to go with the majority they got. We're not in here. But the ones that are. This is why we can't have nice things. They're not helpful. I know. Such a facepalm when low grade insults are misspelled, right? Grow up. You want people to take you seriously? Come on. Come on. That is true, Dan Montana. The Mansells are not the only ones spam effed over. This can't be put on Ben. Agreed. Agreed. I think it was the Lost Relic emailed me last night. I need to email him back too and see if maybe we can talk sometime next week or something. I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't. Apparently, we're being punished by YouTube comments, you guys. So these are not comments directly sent to their website. These are on fucking YouTube. All right, YouTube. Ever been in a comment section on YouTube? This one, as Grandma said, buckshot solves a lot of issues. I mean, mm. Did their office suddenly have a fire after he realized he wasn't getting his property back? If not, it really could still happen at any time. I do know the odds of a fire would increase substantially if I had 3K of my property stolen by a business. Have you ever been on the internet? People say dumb shit all the time. Oh my goodness. I know. No, these are YouTube ones. This isn't Reddit. But oh my gosh, no, not the internet being so mean with their comments. People bitch about everything. Here's some other people. This one is talking about how they're going to make this person rob the store. I heard you got $200,000 worth of stuff. I got a bullet with your name on it. McNabb, again, not being a problem, not part of the solution. This one says, ask yourself this. Is lying and stealing from the elderly a good example to set for your children? Good luck with the inevitable divorce, my friend. You were so upset about that. You put that as an exhibit. That wasn't even that bad. Oh, you get some more from the same person. If you haven't already seen it, you should ask your brother about the reckless bin video. Oh, this must be to Matt. Doesn't look too bright for his future. If you care about your brother and your nieces and nephews, I hope you urge him to do the right thing. Oh, is that a threat? I think that's just more of like, if you care about your family, you'll get a hold on this because everybody about to be fucked. Here's another one. Return the Legos or lose your livelihood as you know it. Livelihood could mean your business and money. I mean, that's not too terribly threatening. Your dad won't be able to buy you anything, and you will be left with nothing, not even a house. We could show you what real thieves look like just for fun. See, you didn't have to do the last one. The first ones, I mean, those aren't really, they're just, looking out for you, bro. But then you got to go. You should have stopped earlier. Let's see. This one's not great. It says, let's make this easy. Return the Legos or lose your entire livelihood as you know it. I like to have fun. You seem like nice entertainment. They put Eamon's address in there. Think wisely. Well, I don't know if it's Eamon's or Matt's now that I think about that. Then they tried to FaceTime call whoever's phone this is. I don't know whose it is. I'll do this, guys. And then there's Reddit comments. Literally, these are so tame. I don't know how any of this is threatening. I'm hoping this post doesn't get removed because the family deserves their hard-earned collection back. The horror. Oh my gosh. That's the meanest thing I've ever seen on Reddit. There's literally nothing wrong with that comment. That's somebody's opinion. Get over it. The police interactions shown in the reckless bin investigation involving American Fork PD raised serious concerns for me about possible misconduct, abuse of authority, and lack of accountability. I believe the incidents shown deserve a real independent investigation and public transparency. Official public contact channels, the Utah AG, American Police Department, or American Fork Police Department, and the Utah Post. What does that have to do with anything, a BAM? That's talking about the PD. Why is this in here? And there's literally nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. We want people in charge to be looked into and accountable. Looks like me. Somebody's sucking American Fork Police Department's dick real bad, aren't they? Agreed. Agreed. Not great. But this is not threats. This is ridiculous. Somebody says, "Yes, I full-heartedly agree to something." This person says, "I just watched the video and it's insane. The cops completely disregarding the law and being insanely biased towards the business was so upsetting." You guys, how is that threatening? And what earlier, what they showed, yes, I will tell them, yes, those were very threatening. These are comments on fucking Reddit discussing the cops, not even you. The second video on his Patreon is even crazier amounts of corruption. Drop the email. I'll happily help in any way I can. Bet the email for the Utah governor is this, which, by the way, these are all public. This here is not doxing, right? These are public places with public emails for the public. That is not doxing. They are all public. All right. I don't get what your point is you're trying to make here. This really does make you look like a bitch. Okay. Right now, he posted on Patreon that he needs help from a YouTube rep, and tons of people are trying to get big content creators like Moist Critical to shine more light on this, or trying to get YouTube's attention via Twitter, as that's the only result for Ben to get a rep. If you watch any YouTubers like that and want to help while you're just chilling watching YouTube, see if you can. Oh my gosh. No, not people telling other people, hey, see if they'll cover this. The horror. The horror. This is on Lego Circle Jerk, which is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It is freedom of speech. Exactly, Blue. Exactly. Why else would this be in here? Bad BJ's leave to twins. That's true. That's true. Cool guy says this is all a reflection of BAM's own wrongdoing, and that is all they are pointing out. These lawyers are forking their own case. Pun intended. Well played there, sir. I know, gas. Everybody grab their pearls. This is outrageous Reddit behavior. This is some of the tamest Reddit shit I've ever seen. Can we talk about the 200,000 collection that Bricks and Minifigs? By the way, a Lego Circle Jerk. It's all humor related. Okay. If you don't know what that means, then they're going to interpret this wrong. So I just watched the video and it's insane. The cops completely disregarding the law and being insanely biased towards the business was so upsetting. Everyone needs to email them. Take a break from doom scrolling for 2 minutes. The second video on his Patreon is even crazier amounts of corruption. Drop the email and I'll happily help in any way I can. Oh, that's when we saw earlier. I mean, they didn't say who to email. Are we emailing the cops or who? And in any way, you can email the cops. They work for us. Remember? Why else would BAM put this in there? Because they think they work for them. Oh, this is also the Utah governor's thing, which again, public information, public servant. Right now, he posted on Patreon that he needs help. Oh, we already read this, except they made it bigger this time. My kids saw the video on YouTube, said they don't want to shop that evil company anymore after seeing that. Pretty bad PR for them. I feel bad for the innocent franchisees. See, people are thinking about them. Thank you very much. But also, what's interesting about putting all these Reddit and YouTube comments is they went searching for these, right? It's one thing if people email you these things. You are out there searching the internet. By the way, apparently this is the worst they could find on Reddit, which is wild. Yeah, this is team as fuck. And they're just searching for this stuff at this point. But yet you're calling this threatening when you actively went looking for it and it's not threatening. Okay. Well, if you watch the video, the CEO is in on it, if not the mastermind. So, not sure how much other franchises are innocent. That's somebody's opinion. I mean, I agree, whatever. You think the CEO put this in his strategy update to the stores? He is screwing an entire brand. Other franchise owners should be suing him too, at least based on current, I don't know what that is, position. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, there's a BAM near me, and I was considering heading there to offload some figs I'll never use and some dupe sets I picked up in eBay lots. But then I saw the video, and yeah, probably never touching BAM, period. Honestly, I think that person's probably making it up. I don't know. People like to do that. You see that a lot. Yes, right, Blackguard. And most of the subreddits they've been looking at are pretty well moderated. Yeah, the Reckless Bin one's very well done. The Bricks and Minifigs one, I think, is very well done. The Lego Circle Jerk, I mean, it's a Lego Circle Jerk, but also, what are there? If this is the worst you found on a subreddit, that means that it is very well moderated, respectfully, to keep people on topics and not go down in the gutter. I've seen them, and it's really hard to have a subreddit like that. They do a lot of work over there. I appreciate it. Does BAM have investors? I mean, probably, maybe. I don't know. They're a private company. They're not like they don't have like public shareholders and stuff. So, but I'm sure they do have investors. The craziest part is how this went from and scandal with Bricks and Minifigs to exposing corrupt cops in Utah that seem to be banding together to protect their criminal Mormon brothers. I mean, it's not like this is a rare occurrence in our day and age. What do you mean? How dare they say police departments are corrupt? Why would they think that? I don't know, because they're everywhere. It got deep quick. Have you watched the second part? I can't. Here's our lawsuit against BAM. Oh, there's Crystal. Come for the jerk, stay for the lawsuit against a scummy company that'll offer you $2 store credit for a Cloud City Boba Fett. Wow, thank you for sharing. Fascinating read, and I appreciate your account and the specific steps that occurred prior to and with the takeover. This matches what was in Ben's video, and it is just chilling. Oh my God, look at all this conspiracy, hate, threats happening. It's so scary. It's not happening. It got deep. These are people having a fucking conversation that people are allowed to have. It got deep quick. Have you watched the second part? I can't wait for the third now. The corruption angle on this went through the roof. Yep, it's ridiculous. Only person I've ever given money to on Patreon because this story is so wild. I doubt there will be any repercussions for those corrupt animals, but at least some exposure will help. I mean, I said all these things. The video is available, but it is unlisted. Is this the full part two? Yeah, it's going to be made public on YouTube once part three is finished, which will be on Patreon for a bit. Tell New Joe is a throat goat. Okay. Seems dumb to me unless you have some form of insurance. Why not just sell the whole lot to B and MF rather than trusting them to sell it for you and give you a cut of the profits? As I said, it's sad, but 200K is a lot of money, and you probably need to be more careful with what you do with it. Well, the Reddit did not like that. Look at those downvotes, but I do seem like it. Okay, but why would you? But okay, they did. It's fine. It would seem to be working. It's so. They made a contract and BAM owner signed it. How is that not careful? That's true. The local police are in on it because they and the BAM CEOs are Mormon. Literally. It's just a case about corruption, pal. Stop trying to be better than thou. Like clearly hindsight is 2020. Those are all very good points as well. Look, I love I just realized, right? Because whoever this is screenshotting, and they too are upvoting and downvoting posts. Have they been doing this the whole time? I just not noticed? No. They just felt very particular about this. They did not like that. How interesting. Um, my apologies. Here is the shortened version. Which one do we leave bad reviews on? Well, feel bad for the guy who got screwed, but the YouTuber is just doing nothing productive. Trolling and being a smartass might be funny, but it's not really getting closer to solving the issue, but it's bringing the issue to light. Only Walrus. But don't worry, Bam liked your updated your comment. So, how's that make you feel? Um, I don't know. I feel like bringing issues like this to people's attention is doing something productive. Oh, I can't wait, Billy. I can't wait. So much digging. These are my like, I love good rabbit holes. Let me tell you what. And see, this is where they're fucking up too, right? Because now you are pissing off the internet. And if there's one thing about Reddit and the internet in general, they have a whole lot of fucking free time. All right. They have free fucking time to go through all sorts of stuff. Everybody has their specialties. Oh God, Bam, you are so stupid. You are so stupid. Um, all right. So, oh, sorry. So this is from a Sacramento store to Matt McNeff and Eamon. May 25th. Just received a credible threat in Sacramento, California. So far, another call this morning. No threats from this user, but definitely defaming. That's to corporate in general and Amon specifically. Here's the phone number. Shows as a Verizon cell phone linked to one Carol, by another male voice on the call. In this case, they first asked about buying policies. I gave my standard spiel about make an appointment. I calculate that they are likely to sell for. I pay out 40% in cash, closer to 60% in store credit if it flaws condition. They then started talking about how corporate lies, corporate steals, and we should really violate our agreement, or that Eamon Con Man will steal your life savings too. He said he was instructed to make sure all stores and customers know that none of the contracts are valid and the fraud will stop. Okay. Weird. Who are these people? I don't even know how they've entered the chat, but they do. So on Sunday, May 24th, what day was that? Oh, Monday the 25th. Oh, are these going backwards? Oh, fucking emails. Hold on. Scroll down so we can go from bottom to top. Is there more? Oh, that's just something. There's a subreddit supporting Ben. No, it's so scary. All right. So this is the first email. I'm sorry. Saturday, May 23rd, 7:19, Bricks Minifigs, Pocket, Sacramento. At 5:59 Pacific, we received a call from a man who refused to identify himself, asking for a manager. Staff member Josh answered and put him on hold while I, Dylan, writing, was finishing up a buy. 3 minutes in, I was able to answer, and he started yelling about stealing from old folks. He claims he is going to be bringing down a group of friends within the hour to fix it or make sure our store can no longer operate. The police have been notified and are on standby in case anyone does show up. All staff has read the guidelines previously put out, but I will not allow any potentially violent people to be in my store. My quick background on the phone number shows Shaban? Is that how you say that? I don't know. As the registered owner of the phone, but it was definitely a male voice with tone and timbre consent with 30s or 40, consistent with 30s or 40s. Please advise with tone and timbre. Okay. So somebody's calling this store and they're not happy about it. Then on the next day or Saturday, it's still the same day. Yes, they have it on file. They but are unable to act unless any part of the threat is filed or threat is followed through on, or any of the other agencies investigating the harassment contact them to connect it to the greater situation. So then she comes back again the same day at 8:40. I did some further research on this phone number and the woman attached to it. So the internet is not allowed to investigate anybody, but store owners are allowed to investigate and do detective work into people. Okay. All right. Just checking to make sure. What? Me with that? Oh, oh, elbow feet mocking voice. I did some further research on the. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Daniel is associated with the registered owner, and his last known address is Blank, California. Too far to actually come to our store, but he has put his face and voice all over videos of his knife making, and the voice and diction both match what my staff member and I heard through the phone. There are very limited records of Daniel outside of his significant online presence, indicating he is at least a candidate to try and pull some vigilante crap on a borrowed family cell phone over the long weekend. The registered owner of the phone number is Shaban, and it appears that she and Daniel are likely siblings, children of a James. Oh, look at your fucking detective work over here. Though but if we do it on YouTube, all hell breaks loose. Hmm. Though the family appears to be larger and more spread out than just the three of them. Shaban has had some significant moving about, bankruptcy, and foreclosures in her past. What does that have to do with anything, Heather and Dylan? But I can't tie her name directly to Ben Ben. Ben Ben. Shall we call him Ben Ben now? Ben Ben Schneider. Crystal Law Gorman, or any of the known names in this entire situation. These are very interesting emails. Direct ties or just inspired by the hate campaign. Either way, it is unacceptable. I would greatly prefer that things become extremely uncomfortable for them because our WAP system is pretty good at uncovering if the call is being spoofed. Not perfect, but there's a high probability it originated from the cell phone Shaban registered. But the caller was definitely male and with the same tenor as Daniel. I wish California allowed one party recording. Okay, Heather, Dylan, whichever one of you sent this, you guys are sound crazy. Sunday and more reviews. Now they are promoting this bin idiot on the reviews. And then Monday, May 25th. Oh, we already read that one. The Verizon call, stealing the life savings, blah, 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 blah. And then I think that is all because I think the bottoms are. Oh, yes. The Reckless Spin subreddit. If you have Reddit, join it. I'm there. I don't really comment on anything on Reddit, really. I'm just a lurker, but lots of good information on there. A whole community trying to do a whole lot of work. And they're like, oh my God, look, BAM corporate email to franchisees. Oh my God. More info. Here's the American Fork. How dare they put their non-emergency? How dare they? The Josh, this isn't great. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably shouldn't have done the address on that either. Whoops. Nope. I did not mean to do that. Oh, you guys can't see it anyway. Okay, good. See, but then somebody says right afterwards, okay, guys, don't go harassing these people. It might not bode well for Ben. I think the complaints line is okay to make your voices heard as concerned citizens because it is public and you are right, but don't flood it. Oh, here's another email from Sean Bosley to somebody. Now the world thinks you are controlled by a bunch of Mormons, diet Scientologists. The name of your business is tainted. Someone needs to grab some internal data and bring it forward. Help burn the company down. I think they mean that figuratively, not literally, by the way. Okay, and there's one more from Mark Marcus, Tuesday the 26th. So let me get this straight. Oh, well. You all are a bunch of inbred okay, I did not see this one. All right, you all are a bunch of inbred Mormon cult members. Now it all makes sense. You guys are all actually our word. I kind of feel a bit bad for you now, having such inferior intelligence and genetics. By the way, if you ever use that in an argument, smart people don't use that in an argument, sweetie. Okay? You don't have to brag about how smarter you are than other people. And genetics and believing that nonsensical, delusional bullshit. Either way, you still suck and we all hate you and want to watch you sob like the little bitch that you are. Again, this is not helpful, Mark Marcus, if that's even your real dumb name. It seems like it's a made up name. Those are not helpful. Why did they put all the Reddit ones? That's just stupid. Like, what? Nothing on Reddit was alarming in the slightest. Um, so that was interesting. This is a self-defense investigation. Oh yes, you and Echoes will be unpacking some of the Mormon threads when we go to cover this for reasons. I hope you do. As I said, I want to hear everything you guys have to say about it because we don't really. I mean, we have Mormons here in Ohio, but like, I don't know anybody. I don't know how it all works or anything like that. So I'm very interested. Self-defense investigation of their self-inflicted defamation. Right? That's a good one. We do love our big bad Marcus. I don't think that's Mark Marcus. That doesn't really sound like stuff he would say. It's the same histrionics as like Laura Owens. They're all Greg. Yes. It's all shocking to Mormons. Really? Yeah. You Ohio too? OH. I love that. We do have the Amish, but you know what they do? They stay in their lane. Like they just I grew up around a lot of there's a lot of Amish people in Ohio, especially if you're rural, you know. But I mean, they're not like this. They ain't trying to recruit you. You know who's not knocking on my fucking door? The Amish. They just mind their own business. I mean, do they have their problems? Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they're perfect in any way, but they're not as crazy. Where did my stream just go? I can't find you guys. Oh, there you are. Oh, I thought we were lost and separated forever. Miss the Amish food though. They do got good cheeses and stuff. So we finally made it through that complaint. All of it. The exhibits, again, the only exhibit we didn't go through was the inventory list, which we will go over at a later point in time. Now what's great is that we don't have to rush so much to try to get caught up for this TRO, which is nice. Because that means I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to come up with a new plan, which is good. Deciding which we're gonna go and where. So I'm so fucking happy though that they got civil lawyers. So now they have lawyers for everything. They have civil lawyers, they have criminal lawyers. Sheldon and friends have the civil attorneys to go after police. So what needs to happen next is the community needs to start crowdfunding. All that money that you've raised already for their legal fees, it's gone. I'll tell you that right now. It's all gone already. Already going to be spent by the end of the month. All $40,000 of it just gone. So there definitely needs to be a lot more crowd raising and all of that to raise money for this. And, not to toot my own horn, but I just did a 12-hour fundraiser raising $14,000. So I'm not volunteering myself for that yet. But those that are in the community, you need to go tell everyone how important it is. All of the links are in our descriptions too. If you can donate. If you can't donate, don't, right? Like if you don't have the money, don't set yourself out for this. But what you can do that is just as important to all of these people is share all their links on social media. So that way people who do have money can. And that is just as important, if not sometimes more important than money, is to help keep the story active every day in some capacity. Keep the GoFundMe information, or they have them everywhere. GoFundMe, GoSim, Go, or Give, Send, Go, whatever. Either way, putting that all out there, that does make a difference. If you want justice to happen, y'all are going to need to raise a lot of money, the whole community, and doing all the hard work that people are doing behind the scenes of going through stuff. Hopefully, sending it to lawyers, letting them, maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. But that can also save quite a bit of money. Um, but anyway, that is all I have got for you today. Excuse me, when's the next BAM scheduled show going to be? I don't know yet, because now I can play around with it a little bit more. But I'm doing Laura Owen stuff during the day the next 2 days, and then I can divide up my week more once we get through this Owens v. Eckerd trial on Friday. So if you haven't, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or drop an episode. Of course, if there's like some big like breaking news or something, then yeah, we'll probably do a rando stream. Like if Ben's um, third video comes out, bet your ass we're going to be on here real quick watching it, or anything like that. So please go ahead, support this channel. I appreciate everyone being with us today. Share us on social media too. We are a little itty bitty baby channel, and we do like to cover things in deep, deep dives, even though it's not everybody's cup of tea, because in today's world, people want information brought way down and whatever. And I'm not good at it. We're going to be looking into it. So please help us out by sharing as well. Lovely to have everyone in chat today. Laura Owens, people, I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we discuss what the Clayton side plans to talk about pre-trial. And then Friday's the big day. And Buffy and I finally get to watch the Owens v. Eckerd 2024 paternity trial. And I'm so excited about it. It's going to be like Christmas for us. So anyway, you all have a great rest of the day. Thanks for being here. Justice for Ben and friends. And I will see you all next time. So until then, go forth and be amazing. All right. Bye, friends.